Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook, God-Level Digital Beast Tamer. Chapter 1. Okay, that's it for today's class. This is also the last time I will teach you. Next week you will have your final exam. I believe all students know that this final exam is not only related to whether you can graduate from junior high school, but also whether you can enter the 4 major colleges. So I hope that the students will have a good rest during the next 7 days of vacation, and then be in the best condition to face the final exam. Do you understand? Yes. After the teacher on the podium finished saying this, the students sitting below were all calm and dignified, and their voices were loud and clear. They did not show any signs of relaxation because of the 7-day holiday, because they understood how much the final exam in 7 days would mean to them. Impact. As the teacher said, if they do well in the final exam, even if their previous grades were poor, they may be eligible to attend the 7 major high schools. Of course, if they do not do well in the final exam, they will naturally have to attend an ordinary high school, then graduate normally, and finally live an ordinary life. Young students naturally do not want to live such an ordinary life. Their dream is to become a powerful digital beast tamer, so they must show their best in the final exam. The final exam goes very quickly. Chin Yun, who was sitting in the second to last seat near the window, couldn't help but recall what happened this month. Chin Yun is not a person in this world. To be precise, his soul is not from this world, but from another world, which is a time travel that often appears in novels. As a time traveler, Chin Yun came to a world similar to the Earth, but the difference is that there is a creature called Digimon in this world, which is the Digimon he saw in his childhood. Although Chin Yun is not a complete digital fan, he also longed to have a Digimon partner when he was a child, and this time travel allowed him to realize his childhood dream, which is considered a blessing. And because of the emergence of Digimon, a profession called Digital Tamer was born in this world. The so-called Digital Tamers are humans who train Digimon. There are many such humans, because contracting a Digimon is a very simple matter. Even a child from a poor family like Chin Yun can contract a Digimon. It's just that this type of digital beast tamer cannot be called a real beast tamer. It can only be said to be a beast taming apprentice. They have the ability to contract with Digimon, but they do not have the ability to cultivate Digimon. Only humans who have the ability to cultivate powerful Digimon can get rid of the name of apprentice and achieve the position of true beast tamer. The levels of digital trainers are divided into Junior Trainer, Intermediate Trainer, Senior Trainer, Star Trainer, Moon Trainer, Earth Trainer, Sky Trainer, Holy Trainer, Beast Tamers and Divine Beast Tamers. Among them, the minimum requirement for a junior trainer is to train a mature Digimon. It is not easy to cultivate mature Digimon. According to Chin Yun's understanding, currently in junior high schools, except for teachers, students of his age can basically only cultivate growth stage Digimon. However, there are exceptions to everything. For example, in the junior high school where Chin Yun is located, there are 2 students who have cultivated mature Digimon. They are also junior high school students and will definitely take the final exam this time. If the goal is to graduate from junior high school students who have cultivated growth stage Digimon can definitely graduate from junior high school, but if the goal is to go to the 4 major colleges, it will be a little difficult. Because in the past, the minimum requirement for admitting students to the 4 major colleges was to cultivate mature Digimon. As for growth stage Digimon, they were rarely admitted to the 4 major colleges. However, it is naturally impossible to tell the students directly about these things. No teacher would be so stupid as to attack students at such an important time. But for Chin Yun, who has traveled through time, he has already seen through it all. Naturally, it is clear that if the 4 major colleges want to admit students to this junior high school, it must be the 2 students who have cultivated mature Digimon. As for himself, to be honest, he has only been in this world for a month, and the Digimon only entered the growth stage 10 days ago, so the possibility of being directly selected is almost 0. But in order to complete the novice tasks given by the system, Chin Yun felt that he still needed to fight for it. At least he did not think that his Digimon would be weaker than other Digimon. What's more, after he time traveled, he also came with a god-level animal trainer system. With the existence of Golden Finger, he would be really embarrassed as a time traveler if he couldn't enter the 4 major academies. Jingle bell. It's time for get out of class to end, and students begin to pack up their things and leave the classroom. The next time they return to school will be 7 days later, the final exam that determines a person's life. If you achieve excellent results in the final exam, you will have the opportunity to be selected by the 4 major colleges, and then you will really reach the sky in one step. You must know that every student who graduated from the 4 major academies is an intermediate beast trainer. That is, he has trained 2 strong masters of mature Digimon, and the time spent in this process is only 3 years. High school study lasts for 3 years, but generally high school graduates can only cultivate 1 mature Digimon. As for 2, it is obviously impossible. After all, the requirement for college graduation is to cultivate a 2nd mature Digimon. Digimon. However, the 3-year graduation requirement of the 4 major colleges really requires the trainer to train 2 mature Digimon, and most students of the 4 major colleges have the ability to become intermediate trainers when they graduate. From this we can see how much the 4 major colleges help students. In just 3 years, they are comparable to the mid-level animal trainers who can take at least 8 years to be born in high school and college. During this month, Chin Yun learned about the situation of the 4 colleges through the internet, so he did not stay in the classroom for a long time. In order to complete the task and enter the 4 colleges, he left the classroom with his school bag and prepared to go home. Coming to a somewhat worn iron door, Chin Yun took out the door card from his pocket. Ding! The door opened with a creaking sound. Chin Yun pushed the door open and stepped in. The room was empty and very quiet. It was filled with old sofas, old TV series and other period furniture, typical of a poor family. However, the room was very clean. Although the furniture looked shabby, at least it was not so dirty that it would be unfit to live in. I'm back. Putting the backpack on the sofa, Chin Yun shouted into the room. But he didn't get any response, which is normal, because the only person living here is Chin Yun. As for his parents, according to the memory in his mind, they passed away 3 years ago. Therefore, Chin Yun has never met his parents, but this is good news for him. At least he no longer has to call strangers mom and dad after traveling through time. Xiaoyun, you are back. At this time, a cry of exclamation came from inside, and the sound of a door being opened was heard. A small black figure jumped out of the inside and quickly threw itself into Chin Yun's arms. Chin Yun stretched out his hand to catch the black figure. When he lowered his head, he saw that it was a creature that looked like a sphere. His body was round, his skin was purple, he had sensitive ears, and he had a wild temperament on his small cheeks. Dollymon, did you stay at home while I was away? Touching Dolly's little head with his right hand, Chin Yun couldn't help but smile. Xiaoyun, you sound like I'm being naughty. Dolly pouted with some dissatisfaction and looked at his trainer. Of course he stayed at home obediently. Although it was boring, this was the trainer's order and he could only endure it. Are you sure you're not naughty? Seeing Digman's reaction, the corner of Chin Yun's mouth twitched. Tell me, who sneaked into the old lady's house next door while I was going to school last time and molested her Digimon but ended up being educated? Now, I also admire you for using your infant body to fight against someone else's mature Digimon. This, ha ha ha. Dollymon laughed awkwardly, and his eyes moved to the side, not daring to look at his trainer's face at all. Okay, don't be silly, go prepare some things, and then after we finish eating, we will go to the digital tower. Chin Yun said, putting Dollymon on the ground. Digitower. As soon as he heard that he was going to the Digitower, Dollymon's eyes suddenly lit up, and a dazzling white light emitted from his body. This was the light of evolution, the light that only appears after Digimon evolve. With the emergence of the light of evolution, Dollymon's body gradually grew larger, and finally the growing Dollymon was born. Dollymon was cultivated by Chin Yun 10 days ago. To be precise, it relied on the relationship between the system. Otherwise, in Dollymon's case, it would take even longer to reach the growth stage. After all, it is born with XA-programmed Digimon. It is precisely because of the relationship between Duolumin that Chin Yun is confident that even without a system, he can enter the 4 major colleges with Duolumin. Of course, without the system, Chin Yun would not have wanted to study in the 4 major colleges. If it were not for the mission, he would have just found a high school to spend his time. Great, we can go to the digital tower again. After evolving to the growth stage, Doromin was very excited. He stayed at home obediently just to go to the digital tower. Now that he could finally go, how could he not be excited? Okay, don't get too high. Go prepare dinner. We'll set off after eating. Okay, Xiaoyun, leave it to me. After stopping the excited Doroman, Qin asked him to prepare today's dinner, while he took his school bag and headed towards the room inside. After arriving in the room, Qin put down his school bag, sat on the bed, and chanted silently in his mind, summoning the system. Immediately, a panel emitting 7 colors of light appeared in front of him. This was a panel that only Qin could see, and there were some words on it. Host, Qin. Grade 1. Occupation, Animal Taming Apprentice. Digimon, Multimon. Possessions, none. Energy points, 2,900. If we go again today, it will be almost 3,000, but this energy point is still not enough. Seeing that there were only 2,009 energy points behind him, Qin was a little distressed. These energy points are the currency in the system and can be used to purchase various props to enhance Digimon. It is also the energy that allows Digimon to evolve. 2,009 energy points may seem like a lot, but it actually lasts a long time. This can be known from the Digimon's panel. Digimon, Multimon, Level, Growth Stage, Data Value, 1200. Properties, Data, Type, Beast Type, Applicable Fields, DR, NSP, VB. Special Moves, Metal Cannon, Super Rush Metal. Special Skills, Breaking into Metal, Dinosaur Fangs. Evolution, Raptordramon requires 50,000 energy points. Doracommon requires 50,000 energy points. Death Doracommon requires 70,000 energy points. Death Dolacommon Sanity requires 75,000 energy points. Unknown Evolution requires 10,000 energy points. The cheapest one costs 10,000 energy points. How should I put it? It is indeed a Digimon born with its own X program. Seeing the attributes of the Doroman again, especially the attributes that were more detailed than his own as the host, Qin's mouth twitched, but he did not complain, perhaps because he was used to it. At present, Qin only has 2,900 energy points, and the cheapest unknown evolution requires 10,000 energy points. Therefore, if Qin wants to evolve the Dualu beast to a mature stage, he needs to obtain another 6,900 energy points. Only then can the Doroman evolve to maturity. But in fact, Qin's goal is not unknown evolution. Although this kind of evolution is cheap, it will cause the multi-root beast to lose its own X program, because unknown evolution is an unpredictable evolution. This kind of evolution can allow Doroman to evolve into a Digimon other than Raptorman, Doroman, and Death Doroman. In other words, with unknown evolution, Doroman can evolve into Greymon, Garo mature Digimon such as Lumen and even Anglemon. But correspondingly, Doroman will lose its X program after evolving and completely transform into an ordinary Digimon. For this situation, Qin refused. He would not be stupid enough to let Doroman evolve into an ordinary mature Digimon, even if Greymon, Geruruman, and Anglemon evolve to the ultimate form, is considered a very powerful Digimon, but compared to Multimon's own ultimate Digimon, there is no comparison at all. Not to mention Alphamon, which has the greatest potential. Just the ultimate evolution of Multimon, Multidramon, has the power to fight the Royal Knights, which is comparable to the ultimates of Greymon, Geruruman and Anglemon. The body is many times stronger. So to choose evolution, Qin must let Doroman evolve into Doroman or Raptorman, and forget about the unknown evolution. The energy points close to 3,000 are naturally unable to meet the evolutionary needs of the multi-root beast. But Qin is not in a hurry now. There is no point in being anxious about this kind of thing. The most important thing now is to complete the side tasks of the system first. After closing the personal information panel for himself and his Digimon, Qin opened the task panel that came with the system. Side mission: become a digital tamer. Mission requirements: enter any of the 4 major colleges. Mission reward: 1,000 energy points, a lottery opportunity. Activate the digital soul, and start the next phase of the mission. The first thing that appears at the top is the side mission that Qin started when he was learning about the world through the internet. It has to be said that as a side mission, this reward is a bit too rich. Even though 1,000 energy points are very few, for Qin at this stage, it is already a lot, not to mention that there will be a lottery opportunity and activation number later. Soul. Although the former didn't know what he could get in the lottery, Chin-yun had some impressions of the latter. Although he hadn't watched Digimon for a long time, he still remembered that in Digimon, there was a protagonist who relied on the digital soul to angrily quarrel with Digimon. Extreme Digimon. It can be imagined how powerful the digital soul is, which is the main reason why Chin-yun wants to enter the 4 major colleges. In addition, after completing this side task, you can also start the next stage of the task, which means that after completing this task, there will be a second task. After completing the first mission, you will be rewarded with lottery opportunities and digital souls. Then the rewards for subsequent missions will be even richer. Chin-yun felt a little excited when he thought of this, but because the final exam is next week and he has to wait another 7 days, he has to suppress his excitement now and complete another side task before that. Xiaoyun, dinner is ready. Just when Chin-yun was about to take a look at the second side mission, Delumen suddenly opened the door to the room and shouted to his trainer. Okay, I'll come right away. Chin-yun immediately shut down the system and then followed Dualumin out of the room. Came to the living room, sat at the dining table, and watched the dinner prepared by Dualumin. It was not very rich, only 1 vegetable, 1 meat and 1 clear soup, but for the 2 of them, this was enough. Although Chin Fan is an orphan, because his parents died unexpectedly, the country specially gave Chin-yun some subsidies. Although it is not much, it is enough to support Chin-yun until he is 18 years old. At that time, he will have to achieve it by himself. Feng Yi has enough food. The meal was finished quickly, and after a brief tidying up, Chin-yun took Dualu Beast and left home. It was getting late at this time, night was falling, and the night sky was filled with stars. Even if it was not the first time to see the stars in the sky, it was still very attractive to Chin-yun. After all, in his previous life, it was not an easy task to see stars in the city at night. The Digital Alliance is one of the 3 major organizations in the human world. It was an organization born to explore the digital world and protect the human world. Its overall strength is the strongest organization in the human world. As the strongest organization in the human world, although the headquarters of the Digital Alliance is built in the digital world, it has branches in major cities in the human world, including the Magic City where Chin-yun is located. After spending half an hour, Chin-yun led Doroman to the center of the Magic City, where the Digital Alliance branch is located. Different from the noise outside, the Digital Alliance branch seemed quiet. Even though the hall was filled with many people and there was no end in sight, no one dared to make any noise and no conflicts were seen. Please hold on to your card and don't lose it. A staff member handed a card to Chin-yun and said softly, the card can only be used once. After use, please put it into the specified box and do not take it out. Okay, Chin-yun responded. After taking the card, he took the Multimon and walked in the other direction. Soon he came to the deepest part of the Digital Alliance. Logically speaking, there should be very few people in such a place. In addition, it was not late now, so it was difficult to see people here. However, this was not actually the case. When Chin-yun arrived here, he saw at least 40 or 50 people gathered here, but they did not stand together, but were divided into 2 rows, standing at a gate. Chin-yun was not surprised by this, because he knew exactly what these people came here to see. He just wanted to see the situation on the digital tower, and this had nothing to do with him at all, because he was not here to see the ranking of the digital tower. But he came to the digital tower to participate in the battle. The Digitower is a special building brought from the digital world by the Digital Alliance. Its main function is to allow trainers to fight virtual Digimon in the human world. After coming to this world, Chin-yun deliberately learned some knowledge about this world, and one of the things caught his attention, that is, the digital world does not exist in computers, but coexists in the same world as the human world, inside. Digimon live in the world of humans, so to differentiate, humans name the area where they live as the human world, while the area where Digimon lives is named the digital world. As for why it has not become the digital world, that is because there is a huge abyss between the digital world and the human world, which prevents Digimon and humans from freely entering each other's worlds. In addition, the currently exposed area of the digital world is already larger than that of the human world. The overall area is therefore called the digital world by the Digital Alliance. The Digital Tower is one of the special buildings in the digital world. Its function is to form virtual Digimon in the tower. These virtual Digimon protect the level and aggressiveness of the original Digimon and can attack Digimon and Digimon Tamers. Division. It is precisely because of this function that the Digital Alliance took a fancy to it and specially brought it out of the digital world. Therefore, digital towers are built in the branches of major digital alliances to allow trainers to improve their command capabilities and practical experience with Digimon. Qin Yun came to the digital tower this time to improve his command ability and practical combat experience with Multimon. After all, the Digimon in the digital tower are fake. Even if they are killed, they will not cause any harm to the digital organization. A loss, not to mention the ability to complete a second side mission. Okay, let's go in. He quickly walked to the door, took out the white card and inserted it in. The door was opened immediately, and then Qin Yun walked in with the multi-root beast. When the door was opened, some people in the crowd on both sides raised their heads. After seeing Qin Yun and Duolu Beast, they immediately lost interest and continued to look down at the huge screen in front of them. This screen is used to broadcast the battle in the Digitower, and at this time, an adult is commanding his mature Digimon to attack another mature Digimon. Under this screen, there are two boxes, one representing the human trainer and the other representing the virtual Digimon, and in these two boxes, there are some numbers. These numbers are the amounts people bet, of which the amount for human trainers is more than 3,000, while the amount for virtual Digimon is more than 2,000, of which the multiple for human trainers is 1.5, while the multiple for virtual Digimon is 2. This also means that if the human trainer wins, those who bet on him will get a return of 1.5 times, and if the virtual Digimon wins, then those who bet on the virtual Digimon will get twice the reward. This is also the reason why so many people gather here. Not only can they watch the battles of mature Digimon, but they can also pass the time and have a little entertainment. As for watching the games in the growth stage, forget it. For these adults, the battles of children are not attractive to them. The battles of the mature stage are more attractive, even if they know very well that the mature Digimon in the digital tower, it is weaker than the real mature stage. After walking out of the gate, Qin Yun and Duolu Beast came to a wider platform. Standing on the edge of the platform, a transparent plate screen emerged from below, separating Qin Yun and the multi-monitor. This situation did not panic one person and one beast, because this was the digital tower versus Digital Tamer, a protective measure for teachers. Dolman, be careful. Standing inside the screen, Qin Yun ordered the doorman outside. Don't panic, just calm down and it'll be fine. Okay, Xiaoyun, don't worry. Deluman said with confidence, not at all afraid of the upcoming battle, but full of passion. Side mission. Dominate the digital tower. Mission requirements. Clear the 1-star digital tower. Mission reward. 1,000 energy points, a lottery opportunity, and start the next stage of the mission. You should be able to clear the level today. When Doroman was getting ready for battle, Qin Yun summoned the system and looked at his second side mission. This mission was already activated when he first came to the digital tower. However, because at that time, Polymon had just evolved, and the 1-star digital tower had a total of 30 floors. Starting from the challenge on the first floor, Polymon had not rested, so when it passed the 10th floor, Polymon, I don't have the energy to do anything, so I have to give up. As for the second challenge to the digital tower, because he could start from the level he had passed, Qin Yun took the Doroman from the 10th floor to the 23rd floor. In the end, he failed again due to lack of physical strength. Then came the third time. Compared with the first two times, the third challenge was not that difficult. Qin Yun took the multi-path beast directly to the 30th floor, and he still had a certain amount of physical strength. However, compared to the previous 29-level growth stage Digimon, the 30th level virtual Digimon is a mature level, one level higher than Multimon, so it was not expected at the time. Failed again. This is the fourth time Qin Yun has challenged the digital tower. The previous 3 times were all due to physical exertion and did not allow Doroman to reach its heyday. However, this time Qin Yun directly challenged the 30th floor without exhausting physical strength. On the 29th floor in front. In addition, he has experience fighting mature Digimon, so Qin Yun is confident that he can pass this challenge this time. When a sound came from the front, attracting the attention of Qin Yun and Duoluman. As their eyes moved, they soon saw a huge 4-legged Digimon. This Digimon has a yellow body and a sharp shield on its back, making it look like a giant turtle. Digimon. Tortoisemon. Attribute. Vaccine type. Type. Reptile. Grade. Mature stage. Data value. 3000. Is it Tortoisemon this time? It seems that the Digimon I challenge will be different every time. The last time he challenged the 30th floor, he encountered Greymon, but this time it was Tortoisemon. This made Qin Yun understand that the Digimon he challenged again were different every time. The data value is 3000, and the same goes for the Greymon I saw last time. So, the data at the mature stage is basically 3000. After seeing the data of Tortoisemon's last appearance, Qin Yun recalled the world's definition of Digimon and digital tamers. Different from the previous life, in this world, although levels are also used to determine the strength of Digimon, in addition to the most basic levels of infancy, growth, and maturity, humans also use other methods to judge the power of Digimon. And this method is the data value. The so-called data value is used to summarize the basic data possessed by Digimon. Among them, most of the data values of Digimon in the growth stage are in the 100 to 1000 stage, while the data values of mature stage Digimon are 3 in the growth stage times, which means that the most common mature Digimon has a data value of 3000. The digital tamer will judge the power and potential of the Digimon based on this data value. The maturity period with a data value of 3000 is defined as the ordinary maturity period, while the maturity period with a data value of more than 3000 and less than 7000 is defined as a maturity period, are defined as elites. As for mature Digimon with a data value of over 7000 to 10,000, they are considered to have the potential to become kings. As for the data value of the complete body, Qin Yun doesn't know it, so it's hard for him to analyze it. By the way, the data value of the growth period also has styles, of which 100 to 300 is ordinary, and 500 to 700 is elite, and 1000 to 3000 is the king. If you have a data value of 3000 during the growth stage, then even if you have not evolved to the mature stage, you will be able to fight with ordinary mature stage Digimon. Once you evolve to the mature stage, I believe you can rival the mature stage of elites, or even mature kings. Period Digimon. The data value of Duolumin is 1002. Compared with the 3000 of Tortoisemon, it is a full 1080 less. Recalling the data value of Dalaman and comparing it with Tortoisemon, Qin Yun's lips curled up slightly. He was not worried because Tortoisemon's data value was higher than that of Doroman, because there was no need for that. The data value only represents the data possessed by the Digimon, and whether the power of this data can be used depends on the condition of the Digimon itself and the command of the trainer. Momon, charge forward and use Super Rush Metal on Tortoisemon. Qin Yun gave the order to fight, and the Duolu beast immediately started running. He rushed towards the landing turtle beast. While running, he opened his mouth, and a huge iron ball flew out of his mouth. Carapace phalanx. At the moment Doroman acted, Tortoisemon also started to attack. His body was shaken, and then 2 hard scales were fired from his back, one of which landed on the iron ball, causing a huge noise, and then the next scale passed through the smoke and came to the front of Duluman. Doroman, jump up 45 degrees. Almost as soon as the scales came over, Qin Yun found a space to dodge and immediately commanded the Duolumin. At the same time, his eyes fell on the Tortoisemon, looking for his weakness. The role of a digital tamer is not to simply watch the Digimon fight, but to provide instructions to help the Digimon. The instructions here include not only fighting, but also analyzing the battle situation, providing dodge methods, and finding the Digimon's weaknesses. Turtleman's carapace is very hard. With the current situation of Dalaman, it is impossible to directly break its carapace, so the target can only choose other places. Observing the land turtle beast, Qin Yun looked for the part that could cause harm to him. If you choose 4 legs, it won't work. There is also a place that can be protected by the carapace. As for the head, since it is a turtle, then we must consider will he stuff his body into the turtle shell. If he can really do it, it will be even more difficult to hurt him. While Qin Yun was thinking, Duolumin followed the instructions of his trainer, jumped into the air to avoid the scale attack of Tortoisemon, and then returned to the ground and ran again, continuously firing iron balls during the process. Then each time it was either blocked by Tortoisemon's carapace or destroyed by Tortoisemon's scales, making Multimon's attacks ineffective. Doroman did not give up. He continued to attack and at the same time close the distance with Tortoisman. This behavior was very dangerous. Once Tortoisman's attack fell on Doroman, its data value would be reduced. If he surpasses Doroman, he will definitely be able to kill Doroman instantly. However, due to the previous battle with Greymon, Doroman learned something, so he was barely able to dodge before Tortoisman's attack fell, and Doroman was not fighting alone. Has its own trainer. Digimon can react immediately to attacks that cannot be avoided immediately under the command of Chin-Yun. This is the cooperation between the digital Tamer and the Digimon, and it is also why Chin-Yun dares to attack Doroman before he can. When you evolve, come over and challenge the relationship on the last level of the digital tower. Because the virtual Digimon on the digital tower can only use attack methods and cannot use other methods, the difficulty is much weaker than that of real mature Digimon. Hey, this is. About 2 or 3 minutes later, Chin-Yun suddenly discovered something. He focused his eyes on the tortoise beast and watched him launch the scales on the carapace again, but this time Chin-Yun did not pay attention to whether the scales could attack Multimon. Instead, he focused his gaze on the exposed body after losing the scales on the carapace, and suddenly smiled. It seems I have found a weakness. Muttering to himself, Chin-Yun watched Dualumin use the iron ball to offset the scales, and immediately shouted, Dualumin, after Tortoisman uses the carapace phalanx, aim at the place without scales and use the metal cannon. Quote. Okay, Xiaoyun. After hearing his trainer's words, Dualumin immediately noticed the situation on Tortoisman, and he immediately started running again. Carapace phalanx. Seeing Dualumin coming, Tortoisman launched his special move without hesitation, and 2 scales immediately flew out from the carapace. Dualumin did not use the iron ball to offset the attack of the tortoise beast this time. Instead, under the command of Chin-Yun, he dodged the 2 scales, and then jumped up to the sky above the tortoise beast. Looking at the part of the body exposed due to the loss of scales on the turtle's shell, Dualumin launched its special move without hesitation. Metal cannon. An even bigger iron ball than before appeared and blasted towards the landing turtle beast. Boom boom. A deafening sound was made, and the huge iron ball fell on the tortoise beast. Part of it was destroyed by the scales on the carapace, but the remaining part fell accurately into the body inside the carapace. The power contained in it was the intensity caused the tortoise beast to scream, and its body fell directly to the ground. Pursue victory, Doroman, use dinosaur fangs. Dualumin landed on Tortoisman's carapace. He opened his big mouth and bit the piece of meat directly on the gap in the carapace. This bite made Tortoisman scream again, and then Tortoisman could be seen. The body is gradually disappearing. Congratulations to the challenger for defeating the tortoise beast and clearing the 1-star digital tower. Ding. Congratulations to the host for defeating the virtual Digimon Tortoisman and gaining 1000 energy points. Ding. Congratulations to the host for completing the side mission, the rewards have started to be sent. Ding. Congratulations to the host for getting 1000 energy points, a chance to draw a lottery, and the next phase of the mission begins. When the tortoise beast disappeared, the sound of the digital tower and the sound of the system sounded once, and then the screen around Chin-Yun disappeared. It's finally completed. Now it's 1000 energy points. Coupled with the energy points provided by the tortoise beast, well, it's still early to evolve. Ignoring the sound of the digital tower, Chin-Yun added up the energy points he obtained this time and found that it was not enough for Doroman to undergo an unknown evolution. As for the energy points for him to evolve normally, it was even less. Chin-Yun's own energy points are only 2009, and defeating the tortoise beast will provide 1000. Completing the side mission also provides 1000 energy points, which adds up to only 4009. However, the Dualumin evolves normally. It requires 50,000 energy points. Looking at it this way, it still takes a long time for Doroman to evolve to maturity. I don't have enough energy points, but I still have a chance to draw a lottery. I don't know what I can get in this lottery. It has not yet evolved to the mature stage, but the reward this time, in addition to energy points, is also a lottery opportunity. This is the first time Chin-Yun has received a lottery opportunity, so he is looking forward to getting something good. In addition, after completing the side task this time, the next stage of the task also started, which made Chin-Yun couldn't help but summon the system and open the task panel. Side mission. Dominate the digital tower. Mission requirements. Clear the 2-star digital tower. Mission reward. 10,000 energy points, a random digital armor, and start the next phase of the mission. 10,000 energy points and digital armor. After seeing the second side mission, Qin was immediately frightened. He thought that the rewards for the next phase of the mission would be very rich, but he did not expect that they would be so rich. Qin has seen the price of digital armor in the system. A digital armor costs at least 100,000 energy points. Now he only needs to complete this second side mission, which is to clear the 2-star digital tower, and he can get it for free. Get a digital armor. This completely saves 100,000 energy points, and if you are lucky enough to get a digital armor such as Miracle or Destiny, it will be even more profitable. What's more, in addition to the digital armor, there is also a reward of 10,000 energy points, which is 10 times higher than the first energy point reward. This is really too rich, but the 2-star digital tower should be quite difficult. Seeing that the mission requirement was to let him pass the 2-star digital tower, Qin didn't think it was very simple. After knowing that this 1-star digital tower cost him so much effort, wouldn't it be even more difficult for the 2-star Digimon? This girl has never thought that she can pass the 1-star Digitower in a month. For others, she is already a genius, or even a pervert, because there has never been a trainer who can train Digimon to the growth stage. Finally, it took him a month to pass the 1-star digital tower. Congratulations on passing the 1-star digital tower. The cooling system has been turned on. The waiting time is 7 days. After taking the card off the mechanical port next to the door, Qin heard the familiar prompt. It seems that the information I investigated is correct. After passing the digital tower, you need to wait for a while before you can continue to challenge the digital tower. Putting the card into his pocket, Qin couldn't help but think of the information about the digital tower that he had found on the internet. Among them are some things that need to be paid attention to when passing through the digital tower, such as the cooling system. According to online information, the 1-star digital tower only has 30 floors. After the challenge on the top floor is completed, it will enter the cooling stage. Only after waiting for 7 days can you challenge the digital tower again. The item used by Qin to open the digital tower is a card issued by the Digital Alliance. This kind of card usually has personal identification recorded on it, so now that he has passed through the 30th floor, the card has been updated with new information. This situation also resulted in Qin being unable to open the digital tower for a challenge if he used this card again. He could only challenge the 1-star digital tower again after 7 days when the cooldown time expired. Being unable to challenge the digital tower in 7 days should be a very distressing thing for Qin. Because the virtual Digimon in the digital tower can provide Qin with energy points. For example, a growing Digimon can provide 100 energy points, while a mature Digimon can provide 1000 energy points. At present, Qin does not have enough ability to leave the city and go to the digital world, so if he wants to obtain energy points, he can only challenge the digital tower. This is why there were some energy points on his previous personal information panel. But now the digital tower has entered the cooling stage and cannot be challenged for 7 days. This is equivalent to Qin being unable to obtain energy points for 7 days. As a result, the time for Doroman to evolve to a mature stage will be delayed again. But in fact, judging from Qin's current reaction, he is not too worried but looks indifferent. Deluman, how are you doing? Turning around and looking at the returning Deluman, Qin asked. A little tired, but this battle is very exciting, Xiaoyun. Duolumin showed a big smile. Last time, he was defeated due to lack of physical strength and the fact that it was the first time he faced a mature Digimon. Greymon was beaten severely. But this time Doroman was in his prime, and he had experience, so the battle with Tortoisemon was very enjoyable for him. The only thing that made him unhappy was that the battle with the mature stage was too tense, which cost him a lot of energy. Really, in that case, let's go back and that's it for today. Noticing the fatigue on Duolumin's face, Qin originally wanted to take Duolumin to another place, but decided to forget it. There is no rush anyway, not to mention that the reward for this side mission, in addition to energy points, is also a lottery opportunity. Qin is looking forward to what kind of good things this lottery opportunity will bring to him. After taking Doroman out of the digital tower, Chin-yun did not attract the attention of others. The humans gathered here were all looking at the screens in front of them attentively, which still showed the difference between mature and mature Digimon. As for the battles between the growth stage Digimon, they are not attractive at all. Even if you look closely, you can find a line of words written in the upper left corner of the screen. The 10th floor of the 2-star digital tower. When he got home, it was already 8 o'clock in the evening. Chin-yun went to take a shower. After the Doroman tidied up the room, they gathered in the living room and turned on their only old TV. Doroman watched the TV program attentively, and saw that what was playing on it was a Digimon competition between junior trainers. Programs of this type are very attractive to Doroman. When Chin-yun first came to this world, he had paid attention to it for a while, but then he stopped watching it because most of what was shown on TV were competitions between junior trainers, that is, mature Digimon, their fight. It seemed interesting at first, and Chin-yun learned some things from various commands, but he soon got bored because most of the commands and battles were very ordinary, and Chin-yun had watched Digimon in his previous life, and he didn't know how to play Digimon. A rough understanding of the battle between the perfect body and the ultimate body. Therefore, fighting in the mature stage cannot attract him now. But Duolu Beast watched it with great interest. In order not to disturb him, Chin-yun closed his eyes, silently recited the system in his mind, and prepared to start the lottery. Does the host start the lottery? The system prompts appeared in my mind. System, start the lottery. Ding, the lottery begins. The lottery is over. Congratulations to the host for getting a free redemption coupon. It only took less than 2 or 3 seconds for the lottery to end. Chin-yun was also a little confused. This was not because the lottery was too fast, but because the item he obtained was a bit too unexpected. What the hell is this free redemption coupon? Why does it sound like after shopping on Taobao, the merchants specially issue the tickets to keep them, but in fact they are of no use? Free redemption coupons. You can redeem any item sold by the system for free. Note: includes all special items such as Digimon evolution, Digimon data cleaning, Digimon system activation, etc. What the hell? Just when Chin-yun was confused, the system transmitted the properties of the free redemption coupon to his mind, which immediately made him say something rude. Xiaoyun, what's wrong? Frightened by his trainer, Duolumin immediately turned his head and looked at Chin-yun, who looked shocked. His little face was full of worry. Why did such a good guy suddenly start screaming? It's okay, I was just scared. Chin-yun shook his head. He was indeed frightened. What he got in this lottery was really unexpected. Scared, Doroman looked at his trainer, and then he moved his eyes to the TV screen. On the screen, he saw that under the command of his trainer, Greymon was suppressing Garuruman, fighting the previous situation where Garuruman completely suppressed Greymon was completely reversed. It turns out to be this. After Duolumin noticed this, he mistakenly thought that the battle situation on the TV had reversed, so he asked his trainer to scream. He could understand this, because Duolumin also thought that this was the case before. Garuruman won the battle. But who would have thought that the next second Greymon would start to fight back, completely suppressing Garuruman? This change would indeed suddenly scare the audience. System, how do I get this free redemption coupon? After calming down, Chin-yun didn't pay attention to the picture on the TV screen. He returned to the system again and asked about the free redemption coupon. After all, this thing can be exchanged for anything in the system for free, and it can even evolve Digimon for free. If you can figure out how to obtain it, you will definitely be able to have a lot of energy points left. The host can only be obtained through lottery, or after completing the task, there is a certain chance. The system answered Chin-yun's question, and the answer did not disappoint Chin-yun. He knew very well that free redemption coupons could not be obtained easily. On the contrary, they could be obtained through tasks, which was a surprise to him. He had already prepared that the system's answer could only be obtained through a lottery, but now he can still pass the mission, which can be said to be an unexpected surprise. I never thought that I would one day sneak into Europe, but if I think about it carefully, I am able to travel to this world, and in a sense I can be considered a European. He muttered this to himself. To Chin-yun, the free redemption coupons he received in the lottery were simply a symbol of the European emperor. You must know that when he played mobile games before, he was known as the African chief, and now he finally has one. This can save a lot of energy points, and it can also allow Digimon to evolve to a mature stage. Wait, since you can evolve Digimon for free, is it also possible? Seemingly thinking of something, Qin-Yun glanced at Dualu Beast, and then returned to the system again. System, can this free redemption coupon be used to activate the X program in Dualumin's body? Can. The system quickly answered Qin-Yun's question, and the corners of Qin-Yun's mouth turned up slightly. Originally, he planned to use this free redemption coupon to evolve the multi-root beast to maturity, but it seems that it is not necessary now. What could be more profitable than activating the X program of Multimon? The evolution of Doromin requires 50,000 energy points, which seems like a lot, but Qin-Yun believes that as long as he works hard, he will definitely be able to get so many energy points to allow Doromin to evolve normally. But activating the X program is different. As early as when he learned that his Digimon was Doromin, Qin-Yun had asked the system whether the X program in Dolomin would be harmful to him. The result is that Doromin does not yet have the X antibody because the X program is sleeping in his body and has not been fully activated. This means that Doromin's own power is limited half, maybe more. To activate the X program and awaken the X antibodies to the Doromin, a large number of energy points are needed, and this value is 500,000. Yes, not 5,000, not 50,000, but a full 500,000. 500,000 energy points are simply out of reach for Qin-Yun, and this is just to activate the X program, allowing Doromin to obtain X antibodies and restore his original power. Compared with evolution, the benefits are definitely very small. But the X program must also be activated, because this is one of Doromin's strongest powers. Even after he evolves to the ultimate body, he has even greater power because of the X antibody. This is why Qin-Yun was even more excited after learning that the free redemption coupons could activate the. Perhaps the maturity period can make Doromin stronger, but after the X program is activated, the X antibodies brought by it can make Doromin's potential even further. The most important thing is that 500,000 energy points are too many. Qin-Yun is not sure whether he can get these 500,000, so instead of choosing to evolve once every 50,000, he might as well use this X program to activate on, saving myself at least 500,000. System, will activating the X program cause harm to the current Multimon? Although it is certain that it can be activated for free, Qin-Yun should not be reckless. He has not forgotten that in the original work, the X program is specially used to kill Digimon. Only by overcoming the X program can one obtain the X antibody and thereby increase his power. And if you can't overcome the X program, you will be killed by the X program. As for the X antibody, since the Digimon are dead, it is naturally impossible to exist. So Qin-Yun had to ask clearly. He didn't want the Dualu Beast to die because of the failure to activate the X program. That would be a real tragedy. No, the X program itself is part of the Multimon. After activation, it will acquire the X antibody and will not cause harm to itself. The system quickly answered Qin-Yun's question, and the answer made him feel relieved. Okay, system, I'll use the free redemption coupon to activate Doromin's X antibody. Do you want to use the free redemption coupon to activate the X program? Sure, activation begins. When the system beeps, Qin-Yun immediately moves his gaze to the multi-root beast. Although the system guarantees that nothing will happen, he is still afraid of accidents. What's more, this is the first time Qin-Yun has seen the X program activated. Naturally, it is to record what is about to happen in your mind. However, what happened next was a bit beyond his medical treatment. Ding! The X program was successfully activated. Congratulations to Dualumin for obtaining the X antibody. In less than a minute, the system prompt sounded. Qin-Yun was stunned when he looked at the multi-monitor sitting on the sofa, his eyes still on the TV screen. There was no abnormality at all. Is this already activated? But why do I feel like nothing happened? Could it be that the system is playing tricks on me? Qin-Yun really couldn't believe what the system said just now, because he didn't see what happened to Dualumin at all. There was no abnormal change at all, just like when the X program was not activated. Digimon. Multimon. Level. Growth stage. Data value. 5400. Properties. Data. Type. Beast type. Applicable fields. DR. NSP. VB. As if it understood what Qin Yun was thinking, the system simply transferred the information about the multi-path beast to his mind. This move also made Qin Yun come back to his senses, and subconsciously looked at the information given by the system. When he saw the data value of duolumin, which was originally 1002, directly turned into 5004, his brain was on standby again. Then, what the hell? What the hell is this data value? It has suddenly reached the elite maturity level. Looking at the data value behind Doromin, which directly met the basic requirements to be called an elite mature Digimon, Qin Yun couldn't help it anymore and screamed. The sound was so loud that it frightened the Doromin next to him again, causing him to turn his head and look at his trainer with great confusion and worry. What the hell is going on today? Why did Xiaoyun suddenly yell twice? Didn't the game just begin now? Doromin, who was still watching the TV show, was completely unaware of what was happening to him, and he couldn't understand what kind of illness his trainer had suffered today that made him behave like this. Duolumin, do you feel uncomfortable? Noticing Duolumin's gaze, Qin Yun did not explain anything, but instead asked, for example, there is suddenly a new power in the body, or in other words, I feel like I have awakened something. After hearing the words of his trainer, Duolumin looked at his body seriously, then moved his eyes to Qin Yun, with a worried look on his face, and stretched out his hand to place on Qin Yun's forehead. No fever. ... The corner of Qin Yun's mouth twitched, and he patted down Duolumin's hand. Of course I don't have a fever. Duolumin, do you really not feel any changes in your body? No, Xiaoyun. Duolu Beast shook his head cutely. He didn't feel anything abnormal in his body at all. On the contrary, it was his trainer's previous behavior that made him have to doubt that Qin Yun's mind was. It's not like something went wrong. If Qin Yun knew what Duolumin was thinking now, he would definitely give Duolumin a big gift. It's a pity that Qin Yun can't read minds, and he cares more about Duolumin's answer than this. There is no change. Could it be that the activation failed? That's not right. The system said that the activation was successful and the data values have also changed. Then why doesn't the Doromin feel anything at all? Qin Yun frowned slightly. He was really I don't understand whether the X program was successfully activated or failed. System, is Dolomin's X program really activated? If it is activated, why doesn't he feel anything at all? Qin Yun couldn't figure it out, so he went to the system directly. Originally, this question had to be asked to the system. Only then can we answer. The X program in Doromin's body is part of his body, so it will not cause any changes to the body after activation. The system replied. If the host wants to know more about the X program, it can test it through combat. At the same time, it can make Doromin aware of his changes. In other words, the X program has been activated, and Doromin has also obtained the Is everything taken for granted? Qin Yun asked. Yes, the host can understand this. The systematic explanation allowed Qin Yun to roughly understand why Doromin could not detect his own changes, because after the X antibody appeared, he subconsciously believed that this power originally existed, and in fact it did exist, just sleeping in Doromin's body. Now it is just waking up again, so Doromin will not feel other changes in his body. Xiaoyun, are you okay? You feel so strange today. Duolumin looked at Qin Yun, who was worried for a while and suddenly realized for a while. Recalling his previous behavior, the look of worry on his face became more and more, even though this was not the first time he saw his master's expression change so much. But Duolumin still couldn't get used to it. If he hadn't just confirmed that Qin Yun didn't have a fever, he might have taken him to the hospital now. With Doromin's little mind, he would never have thought that he could be taken to the hospital even if he didn't have a fever. Of course, if he did that, he would definitely be beaten up by Qin Yun. It's okay. I must be a little tired. It's getting late. It's time to go to bed. Qin Yun shook his head. After listening to the system's explanation, he had a new plan, but he couldn't tell Duolumin yet and would wait until tomorrow. Okay, Xiaoyun, you have to have a good rest, and don't tire yourself out. Duolumin nodded. Although it is almost 10 o'clock now, it is not too late, but considering Qin Yun's behavior just now, it is better to go earlier. Rest well. After turning off the old TV, Qin Yun and Doromin returned to the room. One person and one beast lived together. Although there were other rooms in the house, Doromin was not willing to sleep separately from Qin Yun, so just sleep in one room. Fortunately, Doromin can degenerate into the growth stage, otherwise sleeping together would seem very crowded. The next day, after eating breakfast, Chin-yun took Doromin to the Digital Alliance again. As before, after purchasing a white card with his ID card, he set off towards the location of the digital tower. Xiaoyun, are you going to challenge the digital tower today? Didn't you say you have to wait 7 days? Duolumin asked in confusion as he followed his trainer. When he first challenged the digital tower, Chin-yun had learned some knowledge about the digital tower from Doromin, so after passing it yesterday, Doromin thought that he would not challenge the digital tower in the coming days. But he didn't expect that just one night later, his animal trainer would bring him over to challenge the digital tower again. Could it be that he remembered it wrong? In fact, he didn't need to wait 7 days, but 7 hours. It is true that you have to wait 7 days before you can challenge. Heading towards the digital tower, Chin-yun said as he walked, but the one we cleared last time was the 1-star digital tower. This time we are going to the 2-star digital tower. We haven't started challenging that one yet, so we won't need to wait 7 days. 2-star Digitower, so you can fight other Digimon again. Upon hearing this, Doromin's eyes instantly lit up. For him who likes fighting, challenging the digital tower is a very happy thing. I originally thought that it would be 7 days before I could challenge the digital tower again, but I didn't expect that a 2-star digital tower would appear now. I didn't need to wait another 7 days before I could fight again. This situation almost made Doromin scream with excitement. Stand up. That's right, so are you ready? Arriving at the gate, he turned around and looked at the excited Doromin. Chin-yun smiled and said, it seems that my question was in vain, so let's start challenging the 2-star digital tower now. Dulumin nodded fiercely, he couldn't wait any longer. After inserting the white card into the mechanical port at the door, there was a bang and the door was opened. Then Chin-yun walked in with Doromin, because the card he got this time was a pass for the 2-star digital tower. So after entering, you will not enter a 1-star digital tower like last time, but you will enter a 2-star digital tower. Chin-yun's behavior naturally attracted the attention of people surrounding the gate, watching the battle between the trainer and the Digimon, but they only glanced at it and continued to watch the battle on the screen. Compared to paying attention to the battles of growth stage Digimon as little kids, the battles of mature stage Digimon are more attractive to them. The most important thing is that they have invested some money in it, so naturally they have to pay attention to the situation of the battle here. It seems that there is not much difference between the 2-star digital tower and the 1-star digital tower. After passing through the gate, he came to the platform again. Looking at the surrounding environment, Chin-yun found that the 2-star digital tower was not too surprised with the 1-star digital tower, but this was normal. After all, they were originally the same type of building. So why make unnecessary changes? Xiaoyun, this is the 2-star digital tower. It feels the same as the 1-star digital tower. Duolumin also discovered this and asked uneasily, could it be that we ran to the wrong place? No, this is a 2-star digital tower. If it were a 1-star digital tower, we wouldn't be here now. Chin-yun shook his head and said, due to customs clearance, we will not be able to enter the 1-star digital tower in the next 6 days. Now only the 2-star digital tower can enter. After hearing the words of his trainer, Doromin nodded to show that he understood, and then moved his gaze to the front. According to his experience in the digital tower, after they entered the digital tower, a virtual Digimon appeared after a while. There it is. Just as Doromin was thinking this, a burst of white light appeared in front of him, and then an Agumon appeared. Digimon. Agumon. Attribute. Vaccine type. Type. Crawler type. Level. Growth stage. Data value. 300. Agumon, it seems that as described on the internet, the 2-star Digitower was also a growth stage Digimon at the beginning. After seeing Agumon, Chin-yun was not surprised. Although the 2-star digital tower is 1 level higher than the 1-star digital tower, this does not mean that its first level is a mature Digimon. In fact, the first level is a mature Digimon. Digimon are still growing Digimon. The difference is that there are very few growth stage Digimon in the 2-star Digitower, which only last until the 9th floor. From the 10th floor onwards, there are mature stage Digimon. In other words, Chin-yun and Duolumin only need to challenge the 9 growth stage Digimon. Digimon, you can meet mature Digimon. This is much faster than the 1-star digital tower. You must know that the 1-star digital tower can only encounter mature Digimon on the top floor, which is the 30th floor, while the 2-star digital tower only requires the 10th floor. In addition, the 2-star digital tower has 10 more levels than the 1-star digital tower, which means there are a full 40 levels. Excluding the 9 growth stage Digimon on the first 9 floors, if you want to pass the 2-star digital tower, it is necessary to defeat 31 mature Digimon. This second side mission is quite difficult. As he spoke, Chin-yun looked at his Digimon, recalling what happened yesterday, and felt a little doubtful, but with Digimon's current situation, it should be fine. Although Doromon's X program was activated yesterday, allowing him to obtain the Multimon comes to the 2-star digital tower. Originally, he planned to wait for Doromon to evolve to a mature stage, and then Chin-yun would bring him to challenge the 2-star digital tower. However, due to the activation of the system and the it's not big, just enough to confirm whether Doromon has been improved. While Chin-yun was thinking about this, Duolu Beast had already started to take action. The opponent is a growth stage Digimon, and he is also a growth stage Digimon. Logically speaking, he needs the command of a trainer. However, due to the previous battle with Tortoisemon, Doromon has gained a lot of combat experience. In addition, there was an inexplicable feeling in Shang's heart that he looked down on the growth period, which made Doromon take action directly. Small flame. Agumon saw Doromon running towards him and immediately spit out a fireball. The speed of the fireball was not slow, but it did not hit Doromon. Instead, it was dodged by him with a jump on the way. Doromon then came to Agumon, and before the opponent had time to make a second round of attacks, he passed. Congratulations to the challenger for defeating Agumon. You will enter the next level in 3 seconds. The prompt sounded, making Chin-yun come back from his thoughts. He looked at Doromon and was not surprised that the battle ended so quickly. With Doromon's data value, he beat Agumon with a data value of only 300. It doesn't require much effort at all. 3 seconds passed quickly. Light emerged from the feet of Chin-yun and Duolu Beast, and then teleported them to the second floor. After arriving at the second floor, Doromon instantly killed the growth stage Digimon that had just appeared. Even Chin-yun heard the sound before he could even look at the Digimon. Congratulations to the challenger for defeating Patamon. You will enter the next level in 3 seconds. The first 9 floors should be used for warming up. Arriving on the 3rd floor, Chin-yun muttered to himself as he looked at the growing Digimon who were still being killed instantly. Judging from the current performance, Digimon's strength has not changed at all from before. When he challenged the 1-star Digitower for the 3rd time, Doromon was already on the verge of killing a growth stage Digimon instantly, and his data value at that time was already in the thousands, far exceeding the average growth stage Digimon. The data value that can be possessed, if it were not for the mature Digimon, it would have passed the 1-star Digitower at that time. But this time, after activating the X program and obtaining the X antibody, Doromon's data value has increased several times. Beating these growth stage Digimon is like an adult bullying a child, so no changes can be seen for the time being. We probably have to wait until the 10th level, when we meet mature Digimon, to see whether Doromon's power has improved. Doromon didn't know what his trainer was planning. Every time he reached the next level, he quickly eliminated the new growth stage, so it only took about a minute to pass the first 9 levels. And now Chin-yun and Doromon have reached the 10th level, which is the level of mature Digimon. Doromon, come back first. It's the 10th level now. The Digimon on this level are mature levels. Seeing Doromon still standing where he was, Chin-yun shouted quickly. Maturity. Hearing the trainer's words, Doromon was stunned. He originally thought that the first 30 floors would be the same as the 1-star Digitower, with growth stage Digimon, but now it seems that this is not the case. When Duolu Beast was stunned, a ray of white light emerged from in front of him, which immediately brought him back to his senses. He retreated violently, distanced himself from it, and returned to Chin-yun at the same time. When Digimon came back, the white light in front disappeared, and then a mature Digimon appeared. It was a dinosaur-type Digimon with red skin, a pair of well-developed arms, and some green scales on its back, but its appearance looked like an ancient dinosaur. Digimon. Megadramon. Attribute. Data type. Type. Dinosaur type. Level. Growth stage. Data value. 3000. Gigantosaurusmon, the data value of 3000 is the same as the Greymon and Tortoisemon we encountered before. Seeing the information given by the system, Qin looked at the giant dragon beast in front of him, and then at his own multimon. The corners of his mouth could not help but curled up. This time, I should be able to see the power of the multimon. Is there any? It's been improved. Dolmen, let's attack first and get close to Megadramon as quickly as possible. When the distance is less than 1 meter, use metal cannon. Different from the previous battle, this time Qin gave the attack command, and Duolumin immediately ran. When it was less than 1 meter away from the giant dragon beast, it immediately spit out an iron ball and launched an attack. Metal cannon. A huge iron ball appeared out of thin air and blasted towards the giant dragon beast at an astonishing speed. Fire breath. Facing Multimon's attack, Megadramon, who followed the procedure, spit out a crimson fireball and pounced on the iron ball in front of him. However, this time, the moment the iron ball collided with the fireball, it ignored the power on it, and instead destroyed the flames. Then it came to the front of the giant dragon beast, and before it could react, it struck fiercely. It fell down. Congratulations to the challenger for defeating the dragon beast and clearing the 10th floor. The rest time is increased by 1 minute. After 1 minute, the next level of challenge will be opened, and the rest time will be restored. After the iron ball hit the giant dragon beast, Qin heard the prompt. He looked at the giant dragon beast that fell under the iron ball and its body gradually disappeared, with some surprise on his face. He thought that Duolumin would become very powerful after activating the. This is a little too unexpected. But it also shows that the system has really activated Duolumin's X program, and now Duolumin has truly shown its power. How is this going? Looking at the disappeared giant dragon beast, Duolumin was shocked in his heart at this moment. He didn't expect that his special move had already reached the point where he could instantly kill the mature one. Obviously, when fighting Tortoisemon yesterday, the power of the iron ball was not that great, but this time it was replaced by a dragonman of the same level, but it was instantly killed. Could it be said that this dragonman was in its mature stage? Belonging to the bottom. Duolumin, how do you feel now? Qin walked quickly to Duolumin and noticed the expression on his face. Qin smiled and said, do you feel that you have suddenly become a lot stronger? This is actually very normal, because you are the real one now, of you. Xiaoyun, what on earth does this mean? Duolumin raised his head and looked at his trainer with a cute look. If the previous battle with the growth stage did not make him feel anything unusual, this battle with Dragonman made Duolumin understand something definitely happened to me. Otherwise, it is absolutely impossible to kill the mature person with one move. It's very simple. After passing the 1-star digital tower yesterday, you awakened your true power. Qin lied a little. He didn't intend to tell Duolumin about the system. It wasn't that he didn't want to, but he felt that Duolumin wouldn't believe it if he told it. It would be better to make up a story that would make it easier for Duoluo to tell it. The answer that people believed came out. Dolmen, you are actually different from ordinary Digimon. You have a kind of data called X program in your body. Originally, this X program was used to kill your Digimon, but you don't same. Because the X program itself is a part of you, it cannot kill you. It even produces an antibody in your body, that is, the X antibody. This is the power used to fight against the power. Qin said. After the battle with the tortoise beast yesterday, you awakened this power, but because the X antibody originally existed in you, you did not notice your changes. Originally, when he heard that there was a program in his body that could kill Digimon, Duolumin's expression changed drastically, and he even became a little desperate. However, after hearing what Qin said, he was stunned for a moment, and then his expression was shocked and unbelievable. Finally, he looked like he suddenly realized something. No wonder the master was so excited yesterday, no wonder he could easily deal with the mature Digimon, no wonder he didn't feel any changes. It turns out, this is what happened. Qin explanation is not difficult to understand, so Duolumin knows what happened to his body. It is not that he is about to die that he can exert such a powerful force, but that he already has this power, but it's just that I haven't awakened before. Let me tell you another piece of good news. Due to the awakening of the X antibody, Duolumin, your current data value has reached the level of 5,200. Qin said. In other words, your current data is no longer weaker than those called elite mature stage Digimon. If an ordinary mature stage Digimon encounters you, they will be killed in an instant like the Megadramon just now. Lose. After saying that, Qin waited for Digimon to look happy. After all, being able to instantly kill an enemy one level higher than him was a very exciting thing for a Digimon. However, things did not develop as Qin thought. Hey, that's so boring. After Dualumin heard that he could instantly kill the mature stage, he did not appear very happy. Instead, his little face was full of disappointment. Is this boring? Shouldn't it be something to be happy about? You must know that you are in the growth stage now. Qin didn't quite understand the thoughts of Dualumin. The growth stage can instantly kill the mature stage, even the most ordinary. Yes, it's something to be proud of. But if you kill him instantly, you won't be able to enjoy the fun of fighting. Dualumin clenched his fists and said seriously, what I want is a battle full of blood and passion. Are you a fighting nation from the universe? Qin was really bored and complained. Logically speaking, this should be an exciting thing, but it turned out to be a disappointing thing when Dualumin said it. I really couldn't understand what these Digimon were thinking. As soon as the rest time comes, the teleportation to the 11th floor will begin. Please be prepared. At this time, the sound sounded again, and then white light appeared under the feet of Qin and Dualu Beast, and then they were sent to the 11th floor. Okay, Multimon, let's continue challenging the 2-star digital tower. Don't be disappointed. Looking at Agumon, who couldn't muster the desire to fight, Qin said, although there are only mature Digimon in the 2-star digital tower, the higher the level you encounter, the stronger the Digimon you encounter. You may encounter elite mature Digimon, even a king mature Digimon. The basic stats of elite mature Digimon are above 3,000, and can reach up to 7,000, which is even more powerful than you are now, so if you continue to challenge, you might be able to meet a Digimon with this kind of stats. Quote. Really, Xiaoyun. Hearing Qin words, Dualumin's eyes were filled with stars. His face was filled with fighting spirit again. Looking at the shadow of the Digimon gradually appearing in front of him, he took a step forward and shouted, then I'm on board, I will definitely defeat the elite Digimon. As soon as he finished speaking, Dualumin rushed forward. At the same time, the virtual Digimon also appeared on the platform and immediately launched an attack on Dualumin. Qin, who was at the back, stood in the protective cover provided by the digital tower to the trainer as always, watching this battle without any suspense. Chapter 11. Yongxing is a lover of Digimon. He has loved Digimon competitions between trainers since he was a child. His favorite is the battle where trainers challenge the Digitower. Firstly, he can watch the passionate battles between Digimon, and secondly, he can make a little extra money, so sometimes, he can stay in the Digital Alliance all day long. For example, today, because it was a holiday, Yongxing came to the Digital Tower and watched several games where trainers challenge the Digital Tower, during which he also won a lot of money. It feels like there are a few people challenging the 2-star Digital Tower these days. Yongxing took out the card and looked at the white screen, and said to the people next to him. Don't think about it. These days are the final exams of junior high schools. Most of the people have gone to their side. Naturally, not many people will come to challenge the 2-star Digital Tower. They are also passing the time here. Liang said. I just don't understand. What's so interesting about a group of students' exams? The battle between growth stage Digimon is so boring. Yongxing doesn't understand those junior beast trainers very well. A good 2-star Digitower doesn't challenge them, but instead he ran to watch the exams for animal taming apprentices. Don't forget, most of the animal trainers staying here are married people. Naturally, they want to see if their children have good grades in the exam. Liang said while controlling the machine. Ready to see if there are any other animal trainers in the 2-star Digital Tower to challenge. Speaking of Yongxing, after so many years, you still don't plan to find a wife to get married. How is it possible? I still need to go to the digital world again. If I get married here now, wouldn't I have to stay in this city for the rest of my life? Yongxing smiled bitterly. I'm still very young. In another year or two, I can definitely become a senior animal trainer. What's it like to become a senior beast tamer? It's not like you don't know what's going on in the digital world. Liang turned his head and looked at the partner who had chosen to leave the digital world with him. That place, the senior tamer. It's very difficult for a beast master to stay here, you're already 30. I know, but I still don't want to give in. Yongxing couldn't help clenching his fists. How much he wanted to go to the digital world and experience the adventure again, but as Liang said, he was already too old. When he was about to turn 30, he had not yet become a senior beast tamer. This also means that his life as a beast tamer has come to an end. Even if he becomes a high-level beast tamer in the future, he can no longer improve, so the possibility of returning to the digital world is very low. But he doesn't want to stay in this city. Although there are many junior animal trainers here, they are all in their mid-20s. This age seems normal, but for Yongxing, who has been to the digital world, this age the junior animal trainer can basically become a waste. Because in the digital world, there are absolutely a lot of people who become junior, even intermediate or even advanced beast tamers in their teens, and only those who can be called real beast tamers. It's not like them, who rely on time for 5 or 6 years to cultivate a Digimon to a mature stage, but use their own abilities to cultivate a Digimon to a mature stage in just 1 or 2 years. Okay, let's not talk about this anymore. Noticing the change in Yongxing's expression, Liang quickly changed the topic. He controlled the buttons on the machine, and then the scene in the digital tower appeared on the screen again. Let's go ahead and see if we can make more money today, and then go buy some items that can improve your Digimon. Yongxing nodded and moved his eyes to the screen again. The reason why he came to the Digital Alliance to watch the battle of the digital tower was not only because he was interested, but also to earn some pocket money to buy some props to improve Digimon. It is precisely because of these props that people in this world can cultivate their Digimon to maturity over time and obtain junior tamer certificates. Although it is said that the grassroots level of tamers has been increased, in fact the path for a type of animal trainer is already very narrow. If you are lucky, you may be like Yongxing and become a senior animal trainer in your 30s. If you are unlucky, you may be a junior animal trainer for the rest of your life. Hey, Liang, did you click on the wrong one? Isn't this a growth stage Digimon? Looking at the Digimon that appeared on the screen, Yongxing expressed doubts. If he saw it correctly, this Digimon should be in the growth stage. Growth period. No, I clicked on the challenge on the 19th floor. Liang said while looking at the picture on the screen. When he saw the Digimon that had escaped Greymon's super flames and fell from the sky, especially the name displayed on the head of that Digimon, suddenly stunned. Doromon, growth stage. What is going on? The growth stage is challenging the maturity stage. And it's still on the 19th floor. Liang couldn't help shouting. He watched the battle on the screen in disbelief. After Doromon fell, he rushed towards Greymon and punched Greymon. The attack should not be able to cause damage to Greymon, but the fact is quite unexpected. After being attacked by a fist, Greymon's body trembled, and then he kept retreating. If the screen hadn't been unable to transmit sound, maybe he could still hear screams. But even this was enough to shock Yongxing and Liang, because they witnessed the scene of a growth stage injuring a mature stage Digimon. This was simply an unbelievable thing. Hey, this is really fake. Is this Digimon really in its growth stage? Why do I feel that he is even more powerful than in his mature stage? Yongxing and Liang really couldn't believe the scene they saw. In their minds, they had never been injured in the growth stage or in the mature stage. Moreover, they did not use special moves but simply used fists. This is so unbelievable. However, something even more surprising lies behind. On the screen, Doromon opened his mouth after beating Greymon back, and then an iron ball appeared out of thin air and pounced on Greymon at an astonishing speed. The pain in his body made it impossible for Greymon to fight back. He could only use his body to support Doromon's special move. Then under the attack of the iron ball, Greymon passed out directly and finally fell to the ground motionless. As Greymon fell down, a line of words appeared on the screen. Open black lens bracket, challenger wins, close black lens bracket. This gambling round ends and the next level of gambling will open in 10 seconds. Looking at the words that appeared on the screen, Yongxing and Liang turned their heads blankly and looked at each other. They could clearly see the shock in their eyes. They even reached out and pinched each other's face. Waiting after the familiar pain appeared, I realized that I was not wrong. It is precisely because of this that the two of them were even more shocked. The growth stage defeated the maturity stage, and they still won the battle with an instant kill. If others told them, Yangxing and Liang would never believe it, but this is what they saw with their own eyes, even if they didn't want to go believe it, and have to believe it. But even if you believe it, you still can't understand why the growth stage can beat the maturity stage. 2-star digital tower, 20th floor. Dolmen, jump back after 2 seconds, and then use the charging metal. Standing in the screen, Qin calmly gave instructions to Doroman. His eyes focused on the front of Doroman. There was a Digimon that looked like a rhinoceros with a huge horn on the tip of its nose. The upper body of the body is covered with that layer of material, which has the same hardness as diamond. Digimon. Ceratomen. Attribute. Data type. Type. Armored Dragon type. Grade. Mature stage. Data value. 5000. Chironman, who has a data value of 5000, enough to be called an elite, is the powerful Digimon Qin and Doroman face this time when they challenge the 20th floor. Its data value is only 200 less than that of Doroman, but the power it exerts is enough for Doroman to be prepared. It even consumed a lot of physical strength due to previous battles with other mature Digimon, causing Doroman to didn't gain much advantage. And he also needs to avoid being attacked by Horned Dragonman. Although Multiman's data value is 5200, he is still in the growth stage, and his body has not yet reached the strength to withstand attacks in the mature stage. Therefore, the moment Horned Dragon breathed flames from its mouth, Deluman followed Qin command and jumped back to avoid the flames. Then the iron ball appeared from the sky and flew down towards Horned Dragon. Boom! A loud noise rose, and the iron ball fell on the Horned Dragon beast, but it did not cause any damage to it. Instead, after contacting the black material on the Horned Dragon beast's back, it directly cracked and fell into pieces. Come down. It's worthy of being at the elite level of maturity. Let's not talk about attack. The defense alone is troublesome enough. Seeing this scene, Qin frowned slightly. This was already the third time that Multiman's attack was ineffective. It must be said that the gap between mature Digimon with 5000 data and 3000 data was really big. If it were a Digimon with a data value of 3000, it would have been lying down long ago, and it would definitely not be like it is now. No, it's not nothing. His eyes fell on the back of the Horned Dragon beast. When he saw the slightest cracks in the material on the Horned Dragon beast's back, Qin's eyes lit up instantly. It seems to be effective, but it's a bit small. But it's enough. Volcano attack. At this time, Horned Dragonman launched another attack. This time he launched his special move, and saw a huge fireball appear out of thin air and hit Multiman at an astonishing speed. The area of this fireball is very large, blocking the space where Deluman can dodge, making it impossible for him to escape. Dolmen, come behind me. Qin immediately issued the order. The space on the platform was very small, so the multi-root beast would definitely not be able to dodge this attack. In that case, there would be no need to go out of its way to dodge, because... Boom boom. The fireball exploded directly, but the power contained in it was all blocked by the screen around Qin. It split into 2 halves and spread to all directions. The Deluman who had already run behind the screen, nothing happened at all. Deluman continued to attack Ceratomen, using Super Rush Metal continuously. After asking his Digimon to avoid the attack again, Qin issued new instructions. Doroman immediately jumped on top of the screen, and then sprinted forward, spitting out iron balls continuously during the process, and launched attacks at Ceratomen. Attack! Horned Dragonman, who had just used his special move, was unable to launch a volcano attack at this time. However, he did not dodge and caught the iron ball with his body. Whenever the iron ball hit, he would be hit by it. The layer of black material on his back was destroyed. With each collision, the iron ball was directly destroyed, making the Horned Dragon immune to the attacks of the Multiman, but this also caused more and more cracks in the black material on the Horned Beast's back. Horned Dragonman didn't notice what was happening on his back. When he saw that Doroman was about to approach him, sparks appeared at the corner of his mouth again, and then... Volcano attack. A huge fireball that rivaled the one before appeared again. This time, the Doroman could not run to Qin immediately, and the surrounding spaces for dodge were all blocked, so his only choice was to resist with his body. Come down. Dolmen, use the metal thrust at a 32-degree angle. Once the gap opens, jump in immediately. Just when Delumen was about to grit his teeth and persist in this attack, his trainer's voice came from behind, causing him to subconsciously launch the iron ball. The iron ball flew out, landed on part of the fireball, and exploded immediately, and then a gap appeared just to accommodate Nidalumen's body. Doromen immediately jumped up, passed through the gap, and came behind the fireball. Even if he did not receive new instructions from his trainer, Doromen knew exactly what he should do. Metal cannon. A huge iron ball that was twice as big as before appeared out of thin air and blasted towards the horned dragon beast. The horned dragon beast, which was completely unexpected, had no time to react and was hit by the huge iron ball. The black material that had cracked when it reached the iron ball before could no longer hold it this time and cracked directly, followed by the iron ball. The power contained in it killed the horned dragonman. Congratulations to the challenger for defeating the horned dragonman and clearing the 20th floor. The rest time is increased by 1 minute. After 1 minute, the next level of challenge will be opened, and the rest time will be restored. Ding! Congratulations to the host for defeating the horned dragon beast and gaining 3,000 energy points. The voice rang from his ears. Qin Yun looked at the flames spreading around and the Doromen that fell from the sky and stood in the center of the flames, and smiled. Well done, Doromen. Of course. Doromen turned his head and gave his trainer a big smile, and then he had no more strength and fell directly to the ground. The metal cannon just now has exhausted all of Doromen's physical strength, and now he can no longer continue fighting, but Doromen does not feel regret because the battle just now has made him very satisfied. Thank you for your hard work, Doromen. Coming out of the screen, Qin Yun walked up to Doromen. Looking at Doromen, who was a little tired but with a smile on his face, he bent down and picked him up. That's it for today, it's time to go back. Holding the multi-way beast, Qin Yun did not choose to continue the challenge, but took out the white card and left here. This scene fell on the screen outside the gate. After watching the entire battle, Yangxing and Liang could not calm down for a long time. Really won. Yes, the growth stage challenges the maturity stage, and it is still the maturity stage of the 20th floor. If I remember correctly, the maturity stage of the 20th floor is the elite level. But he still won. Are all children today so scary? Thinking back to the battles they had seen before, Yangxing and Liang really couldn't calm down. If the growth stage defeated the mature stage, they were already surprised, then defeating the elite mature stage was not a simple surprise. But it's a rhythm that will scare you to death. What's more, not only is the Digimon terrifyingly powerful, but his trainer command ability is also very decisive, such as using the screen of the Digitower to avoid Horned Dragonman's special move and finding the powerful volcano in the first place. Attack's weakness, this is not an ability that ordinary animal trainers have. Combined with the growth period that he was able to cultivate and defeat mature Digimon, this child who looks like a junior high school student is definitely a genius, even enough to be called a pervert. With strong command ability and adaptability on the battlefield, it is really interesting to cultivate growth stage Digimon that can defeat the mature elites. Standing behind Yangxing and Liang, a man over the age of 25 who happened to watch the entire battle looked at the white screen, recalling the previous battle, and the corners of his mouth could not help but curl up. It seems that this time, I found a very good seedling. Time passed, and in a blink of an eye it was the day of the final exam. Qin Yun left home with Doromen early in the morning and set off in the direction of the Digital Alliance. In the days before the final exam, Qin Yun took Doromen to challenge the 2-star Digital Tower every day. However, after passing the 20th floor, the virtual Digimon on the Digital Tower were all elite level. Even Doromen's data, the value is higher than that of virtual Digimon, but there are still gaps in other aspects, such as physical endurance and physical strength. Therefore, after each level of challenge is completed, Duolumen will no longer have the strength to continue fighting. Therefore, during this period of time, Qin Yun did not successfully reach the 30th floor of the 2-star Digital Tower, but stayed on the 25th floor. But it cannot be said that there is no gain at all. The 2-star Digital Tower challenge these days has still allowed Qin Yun to gain a lot of energy points. Especially after passing the 20th floor, you can get 3,000 energy points for each successful challenge. From the 20th floor to the 25th floor, you have challenged 6 mature elites, allowing Qin Yun to gain a high amount of 16,000 energy points. In addition to the energy points obtained from the first 19 levels of the challenge in the 1-star digital tower, Qinyun's energy points now have reached 33,800. I believe that as long as the entire 2-star digitower is cleared, the data needed to evolve Doroman to a mature stage will be obtained. Even judging from the current energy point, Doroman may be able to evolve without completing the 2-star digitower. So today Qinyun once again brought Doroman to the Digital Alliance, but this time he was not here to challenge the 2-star digital tower, but to take the final exam. Perhaps because of Digimon, in this world, schools focus on practical exams, so every midterm exam and final exam are held in the Digital Alliance. Even this time it is related to the assessment for graduating from the 3rd grade of junior high school. It's held here. As for the content of the exam, judging from the experience of the past few years, if there is no change, it should be to challenge the 1-star digital tower. So when Qinyun came to the Digital Alliance, he saw a large group of people in the direction of the digital tower. In fact, this scene had happened as early as when he challenged the 2-star digital tower. Qinyun and Duo Lu Beast has already witnessed it. After all, they are not the only junior high school that has final exams. Other junior high schools also have final exams. This is why Qinyun and the others have to wait 7 days before they can take the exam. That is because other schools have to hold final exams here before. Doroman, let's go to the 1-star digital tower to warm up later, and then go to the 2-star digital tower to challenge the 26th floor. Qinyun said, leading Doroman towards the direction of the digital tower. Doroman nodded. Although he is not very interested in the 1-star digital tower now, it is still a good choice to warm up. When he arrived at the entrance of the digital tower, Qinyun's eyes caught sight of many students and their Digimon. Looking around, he saw a sea of people and Digimon, making the originally vast space seem a bit narrow. Fortunately, this is an area prepared by the Digital Alliance for the school. Others who want to challenge the digital tower can enter through other entrances. Otherwise, if everyone is crowded into one place, it will definitely be more crowded. Xiaoyun, there are so many people here, so many Digimon. This is not the first time that Doroman has seen this kind of scene, but most of them have been seen from a distance and have basically never been in contact with it, so this time it is a good experience. There are indeed many, there should be 5 classes. Qinyun looked around, seeing people and Digimon everywhere he looked. Judging from the past situation, students from at least 5 classes should have gathered here. Considering that the afternoon was the final exam of other schools, such students would gather. Getting up is an expected thing. Okay, Doroman, follow closely. Reaching out to grab Doroman's little hand, Qinyun began to squeeze into the crowd. Currently in this area, in addition to students and their Digimon, there are also students' parents. Fortunately, these parents did not bring their own Digimon. The beast comes over, otherwise it will be more difficult to get in. But even so, when Qinyun arrived in his class area, it was already more than 20 minutes later. I finally squeezed in. After squeezing in with difficulty, Qinyun could finally take a breath. It had to be said that there were so many people here. If he didn't have to get the assessment card from the teacher, Qinyun would never choose to come to this place and enter the 1-star digital tower. With so many people, he might as well enter the digital tower at another entrance, at least he wouldn't be crowded around. Hey, have you heard? In addition to our class, there are also classes 3 and 7 that will be tested this time. Class 3 and Class 7 will take the assessment together with us, whether it's true or not. The sound of other students discussing came to his ears. When Qinyun heard the 2 classes, he couldn't help but look at the students who were discussing. If he remembered correctly, these 2 classes seemed to be the same ones. A class where a genius student who has trained a mature Digimon belongs. It's true, I didn't expect that we would be tested together with the geniuses. It's so stressful. Yeah, I really didn't expect to take the exam with 2 geniuses. They are geniuses who have cultivated mature Digimon. If we take the exam with them, can we really pass the exam? What are you worried about? Although they have to take the assessment together with us, it is impossible to affect the passing mark. Of course I know, mainly because with the 2 of them, the chance of being noticed by the 4 major colleges is very low. Ah, you are right. As they talked, the students showed distressed expressions on their faces. Taking exams with the geniuses, the chance of being favored by people from the 4 major colleges is very low, even if some students know very well that relying solely on the digital skills of the growth period beast, it is difficult to enter the 4 major colleges. But there must always be hope. But now that I am taking the exam with 2 talented students, there is really no hope at all. Are they geniuses? If you look at it this way, Taichi Yagami and the others are not geniuses among geniuses. Listening to the words of these students, Chin-yun couldn't help but think of the Digimon he had seen before. If cultivating mature Digimon at this age is considered a genius, then when he was in elementary school, he had his own Digimon. Yagami Taichi and the others who have evolved into the ultimate form will be called monsters. Of course, Yagami Taichi and the others are not ordinary people, otherwise they would not be called summoned children. The assessment card must be kept well. No matter what the reason is, if the assessment card is not returned to the school after the assessment will be cancelled. Okay, teacher. Taking the assessment card from a female teacher, Chin-yun nodded to express that he understood, and then took the multimon back to his class area. The final exam will begin in 10 minutes. Students who have obtained the assessment card, please go to Area A and Area B according to the numbers assigned on the assessment card to find your place. When Chin-yun had just returned to his class, a broadcast sound suddenly appeared, repeated 3 times and then disappeared. After hearing the broadcast, the originally noisy scene suddenly became quiet, but soon became more lively. The students looked down at the numbers on the assessment cards in their hands. After confirming their positions, they ran towards the empty area ahead. This time they are actually divided into regions. Previous exams have not been like this. It seems that the final exam is planned to end in the morning. Watching the students gradually leaving, Chin-yun looked down at the assessment card he had just received. This assessment card was exactly the same as the white card he got from the Digital Alliance. The only difference was that there was a word written on the surface of the card. Numbers and letters. A5. It's in Area A. The 5 at the end refers to the 5th one to take the exam. After seeing the numbers on the assessment card, Chin-yun raised his head and looked for his assessment area. Soon he saw a big letter A, placed not far in front. That should be where he wanted to go. Dolman, let's go. With the multi-beast, Chin-yun followed the crowd to Area A. After arriving here, he saw a number of famous students lined up, standing behind different numbers. It seems that instead of the 5th row entering the exam, the 5th row will enter together. This is a good way to save time. Seeing this scene, Chin-yun probably understood the specific situation of this assessment. Different from the past, the students in this exam did not enter the digital tower one by one to challenge, but entered the digital tower together to challenge. Of course, after entering the digital tower, the students will still be separated. Everyone challenges the digital tower individually. However, because they enter together, it is easier for the school to keep records. In addition, the afternoon is the final exam time of other schools. Naturally, it's time to adopt this highly efficient method. Hey, look, isn't it Song Tianrui in front of that mature Digimon? Really, but fortunately, he is from the 5th team, not ours. Yes, if he is on our team, this exam will be a process. When the students in other seats noticed one of the students in the 5th row, they immediately breathed a sigh of relief, and their faces became a little sad. Because the student named Song Tianrui is one of the genius students in their school who has cultivated mature Digimon, and he is also the person the students least want to meet, not because the digital tower can be attacked by other students' Digimon. But if Song Tianrui is here, the school's attention will definitely be attracted to him. Even teachers from the 4 major colleges may be attracted to him, so they will have fewer opportunities to perform. So when they saw that the other party was not in the same team as themselves, the students on the other teams breathed a sigh of relief, except for the students in the 5th row. Did you only notice Song Tianrui? Look at the 3rd one standing behind him. At this time, a student suddenly pointed at a student in the 5th row. What happened to the 3rd one? Hearing what this classmate said, the other students were puzzled, but they also turned their attention. When they saw the person the classmate was referring to, they were all surprised. Hey, it's true. Are you kidding? Isn't that guy Mo Xiaoyu? She is also in the 5th row. This is really great. The 2 geniuses are actually lined up together. It seems we don't need to worry. Hey, compared to this, aren't we more concerned about the two of them? I don't know who of the two can reach the top of the digital tower. Don't forget that they are all geniuses who have cultivated mature Digimon. Maybe they can pass the Digitower. When they discovered that another gifted student was also in the 5th row, the other students breathed a sigh of relief again, and then looked at the two gifted students with some excitement. No longer needing to consider that gifted students would take away the opportunity to perform, these students began to pay attention to who of the two gifted students could reach the top of the digital tower first, or even pass the 1-star digital tower during the final exam. While other students were discussing heatedly, the students standing in the 5th row with Song Tianrui and Mo Xiaoyu had dark expressions on their faces. They seemed to have understood that they would not have a chance to perform in the next exam. If there was only wrong Tianrui, the other students might have the idea of working hard, but with Mo Xiaoyu in the mix, there would be no need to work hard. Because their Digimon only have a growth stage, no matter how hard they try, they will never be able to compete with these two talented students who have mature Digimon. Ah, it seems I'm quite unlucky. Qin Yun, who was also in the 5th row, also saw these two people. This was the first time he saw the rumored genius student. However, compared to these two genius students, what attracted Qin Yun's attention more was the person standing next to him. The Digimon next to them. Standing next to Rong Tianrui is a flame dragon Digimon whose whole body is surrounded by flames. He has an iron helmet on his head and claw-like weapons on his hands. He looks very hot, but the person beside him, the students and the growing Digimon, were not affected. Digimon, Flammelizardman, Attribute, Data Type, Flame Dragon Type. Grade, Mature Stage, Data Value, 2126. With more than 2000 data, it seems that it is not easy to pass through the 1-star digital tower. After seeing the information given to him by the system, Qin Yun muttered to himself, with this data value, it was far from enough to compare with the mature Digimon at the top of the 1-star digital tower. After all, that mature Digimon, but there is a data value of 3000 points, which is more than 800 points higher than this one. After looking at the Flame Lizardman, Qin Yun moved his gaze to Mo Xiaoyu, looking at the Digimon who was laughing happily with Mo Xiaoyu. Digimon, Delumen, Attribute, Vaccine Type, Holy Beast Type. Grade, Mature Stage, Data Value, 3217. Dilman, I really miss you. Looking at Delumen interacting with Mo Xiaoyu, Qin Yun couldn't help but raise the corners of his mouth. Speaking of which, his favorite Digimon when he was a child, besides Battle Greymon, was Delumen. To be precise, it was Delumen. The perfect form of Tillman is a Miman. After all, the goddess of childhood. And now that he has come to a world where Digimon and humans coexist, maybe it is really possible to be with the goddess of childhood. In this world, humans can contract with many Digimon, but there are still some special conditions. In my current situation, if I really want to contract with Delumen, it will be very difficult. Of course, this is because Qin Yun doesn't know how to establish a contract with other Digimon. After all, he has only been in this world for a month, and Doroman was hatched from a Digimon, so the contract was established naturally. In addition, I still have multiple beasts to cultivate. If I add a Delu beast now, it will be a bit of a burden. Xiaoyun, hasn't it started yet? Doroman, who had been bored here for almost 20 minutes, couldn't bear it anymore and complained to his trainer, it's boring to stand like this all the time. I want to get into the digital tower quickly. Quote. Wait a minute, the exam has started now. It should be our turn in a while. While comforting Doroman, Qin Yun moved his gaze to another place and saw the students in the first row holding assessment cards and walking into the digital tower under the leadership of the teacher to begin their last junior high school and final exams. Qin Yun was in the 5th row. It would take some time before his turn came, but there was nothing to do here, so he looked at the screen directly above the surface of the digital tower. The screen on the surface of the digital tower is very large. Not to mention Qin Yun and others who are closer, even people further back can see the picture on the screen. Therefore, after the students in the first row enter, most of the people's all eyes were focused on the screen. Soon, they saw lines of words appearing on the screen, which were the names of the students. There were 30 lines in total, symbolizing 30 students. In addition, after the names of these students, there is their Digimon and the level of the Digimon. There is also a level, and a number is written behind the level, 1. This means that the students who enter the digital tower are currently on the first floor, and when they pass the first floor and enter the second floor, the numbers behind them will change from 1 to 2. The requirement for the final exam is that students must pass a certain level of the digital tower. Passing the first 10 levels is a passing grade, passing the first 20 levels is considered an excellent student, and passing the 25th level is considered a top student. As for the 30th level, he is said to be number 1 in the school. Of course, there have been no students who pass the 30th floor of the 1-star digital tower in junior high school for a long time. In previous years, there have been 1 or 2 talented students who have cultivated mature Digimon, but it cannot be said that they will definitely be able to pass the 30th floor. But even so, the people gathered here to watch the exam are all looking forward to the students who will pass the 30th level this time. Even if there are not, it is a good way to pass the time by watching the students' exams. It has already begun, but the battle in the growth period is still a bit boring. Looking at the huge screen, I saw that in addition to the names of students, Digimon names, and the levels of the Digitower, the lower half of the screen showed pictures of students challenging the Digitower. While waiting, watching other students challenge was a way to pass the time. Although the battles in the growth period were completely unattractive to Chin Yun, even the battle-mad Doroman looked bored. Sighing. Hello, Teacher Song. A man who looked about 50 or 60 years old said to a man who was more than 20 years younger than him. Hello, Principal Zhu. The man named Song Fiken bowed his hands to the principal of the junior high school in front of him, and then moved his gaze to the front, where the students were taking their final exams. Although it was a bit far away, he could still pass the screen on the digital tower, see the students' situation. Teacher Song, the exam has begun. Please come in with me to watch the students' challenges. Principal Zhu politely invited Song Fiken. The other teachers around him did not have any objection to this express, because they all understand that Teacher Song's identity is the teacher of Kangyu College among the 4 major colleges. In the past, the 4 major colleges would send people to inspect, but usually they were students from the 4 major colleges. People like teachers rarely came to watch the exams of junior high school students. After all, teachers from the 4 major colleges must have at least a star. Only with the status of an advanced animal trainer can one become a teacher. A star tamer is an existence above a senior tamer. His status is very noble. It can be said that even 100 senior tamers cannot compare to 1-star tamer. Most of the teachers working in junior high schools are junior animal trainers. As for the intermediate animal trainers, they are people like Principal Zhu, and the senior animal trainers have not appeared for a long time. Because high-level beast trainers all gather in the digital world, looking for ways to evolve their Digimon into complete bodies. Under such circumstances, naturally not many high-level beast trainers will stay in the human world. But now there is a star trainer standing in front of him, and he is a teacher from one of the 4 major colleges. For ordinary trainers like them, they don't dare to look directly at each other, let alone provoking him, and can only look down upon him. Waiting with head tilted. No, it's fine here. Song Fiken rejected Principal Zhu's invitation. This was not because there were too many people and it would be troublesome to go there, but because he felt it was unnecessary because the results were the same regardless of whether they were in school. It would definitely be difficult to get out of these schools this year. Find good seeds. But this is also normal. If good talents can be found in these junior high schools, then the 4 major colleges will not take measures such as junior high school and primary school. If it weren't for the purpose of stabilizing the hearts of other schools, the 4 major colleges would definitely not be able to send people over to watch these meaningless exams. Okay, I see. Principal Zhu didn't feel angry. In fact, he had known this result for a long time. What's more, Song Fichen didn't refuse his invitation. This was much better than the attitude of the students from the 4 major colleges in previous years. Not paying attention to Principal Zhu's reaction, Song Fichen looked at the screen on the digital tower expressionlessly. To be honest, he actually wanted to go to another digital tower than watch the exams of junior high school students here. Of course, it's okay to stay here. After all, the screen here can also call up the battle on the 2-star digital tower. However, because the final exam is being held here. Naturally you can only watch the performances of these junior high school students. The battles during the growth period were boring. If it weren't for the academy's requirements, it would have been impossible for Seinfeichen to come and watch the exams of these junior high school students. Originally, this kind of thing should be left to the students in the college, but because of today's special situation, and Seinfeichen's bad luck, he was drawn by the higher-ups, so he had no choice but to come to this city. Of course, it can't be said that his luck is really bad. At least he found a very good seedling a few days ago, which can be regarded as a kind of good luck. Although in Kang Yu Academy, there are trainers who use growth stage Digimon to defeat mature stage Digimon, but the number is very small. The most important thing is that those trainers have not yet defeated the elite mature stage Digimon, the point. But just a few days ago, he saw a trainer with a growth stage Digimon successfully defeating an elite mature stage Digimon. Even if it was just a virtual Digimon, it was enough to see the potential of this student. Therefore, in the past few days, Seinfeichen will come to the Digital Alliance. In addition to watching the junior high school exams, he wants to find the child. Unfortunately, there are many exits from the digital tower, and Seinfeichen doesn't know when the other party will come, so he has not been able to catch him successfully in the past few days, but he has not given up. Seinfeichen planned to continue searching today, but before that, he still had to give the school some face. After all, he still had to do enough on the surface. It should be arriving soon. His eyes fell on the entrance of the digital tower and looked at the students walking out of it. After thinking for a while, Seinfeichen turned to Principal Zhu and asked, "Principal Zhu, may I ask the two training staff in your school? When will students who have reached maturity be allowed to play? The two of them are arranged in the 5th row, and it will be their turn next." Principal Zhu said quickly. "The 5th row, so it's this group of students." Seinfeichen turned his attention again. The students who came out of the digital tower were the students in the 4th row. Their best results were only through the 15th floor. To be honest, Seinfeichen was completely tired of seeing this kind of thing. The kids' fight was gone. If it weren't for the purpose of seeing whether the two students who had cultivated mature Digimon had commanding talents, he would have left long ago and continued to look for the good seedling he saw a few days ago. The Flame Lizardman and Deluman are a bit interesting. Looking at the students in the 5th row who were preparing to enter the digital tower, Seinfeichen immediately found his target. It has to be said that mature Digimon are really easy to find, especially Flame Lizardman, who looks like attractive enough. As for the Delu Beast, Seinfeichen had already decided to take the Delu Beast's trainer back to the academy when he saw it in its mature stage. Hey, that's... Suddenly, Seinfeichen seemed to see something, and was stunned for a moment. Then he focused his attention on the group of students who had begun to enter the digital tower, but when he saw the familiar face and the Digimon, the corners of his mouth couldn't help but curl up. I really didn't expect this. After searching for so many days, I ended up meeting him here. Focusing on Qin Yun and the Duolu Beast, Seinfeichen chuckled softly and muttered to himself. He had no idea that the person he had been looking for so many days was actually in this school. Here, it seems that my luck is quite good. After all, he was unlucky. He might not be able to meet Qin Yun. You must know that Seinfeichen planned to leave here after seeing those two talented students. Once he left, he would naturally not be able to meet Qin Yun. Qin Yun is at the back. Of course, these are all assumptions, but the reality is that Qin Yun happens to be in the 5th row and he didn't leave early. Now he can invite him directly. But before that, we still have to let the other party finish the exam. Thinking this way, Seinfeichen was looking forward to the next exam. A few days ago, he had seen Qin Yun and the multi-channel beast challenge the 2-star digital tower, so he knew very well that the 1-star digital tower was not difficult for Qin Yun. Big. It can even be said that it is solved easily. But just because it's not difficult doesn't mean it's not worth watching. Seinfeichen is looking forward to seeing what interesting expressions the students will show when they see a growth stage Digimon pass through the 1-star Digitower at the fastest speed. Thinking about it, it is a joyful thing. Phew, it's a good thing we put the two of them in the 5th row, otherwise we'd be in trouble. Principal Zhu was stunned. After noticing the smile on Seinfeichen's face, he immediately breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, He did not commit suicide and asked the teachers to arrange Song Tianrui and Mo Xiaoyu to the back. Although Principal Zhu also knew very well that once Song Tianrui and Mo Xiaoyu finished their exams, Song Feiken would leave, but he did not dare to put these two students at the back because of this. After all, he understood the battle in the growth period. For an animal trainer like Song Feiken, it is really not attractive at all. You're kidding. How can this be? Did I read that correctly? The first one is actually a growth stage Digimon. It's true. The mature Digimon were ranked second. Are you sure this isn't a joke? At this time, a series of exclamations came from the ears, which immediately attracted Principal Zhu's attention. What happened? Everyone is yelling and screaming. Turning his head and looking forward, Principal Zhu found that students, parents, and even teachers all had expressions of disbelief on their faces at this moment, and they were suddenly confused. In particular, Principal Zhu noticed that these people were shocked because of the screen on the digital tower and couldn't help but turn their attention. Soon he saw the ranking of the students on the digital tower. Without looking at the bottom, Principal Zhu looked directly at the top 5. As he expected, the names in the top 5 were Song Tianrui and Mo Xiaoyu, and the number behind them was 10. This means that in less than 2 minutes from the beginning, the two of them can reach the 10th floor, while other students are still on the 3rd floor, and a few are on the 4th floor. In this comparison, Song Tianrui and Mo Xiaoyu were really fast, even faster than the students who took the final exam before. However, since they have mature Digimon themselves, this speed is normal and not surprising. Things are right. Hey, wait, why are they tied for second place? Suddenly, Principal Zhu discovered that Song Tianrui and Mo Xiaoyu were not in the first position, but were ranked in the second position. At this time, the name in the first position was Qin Yun, which was a very unfamiliar name to Principal Zhu. Especially when he saw the levels of Digimon and the Digitower behind him, his pupils instantly shrank into the size of a pinhole. A Digimon in the growth stage. Now it has reached the 15th level. How is this possible? When he saw the growth stage behind the Doroman, Principal Zhu couldn't keep calm, his expression was shocked and unbelievable. Principal Zhu finally understood why the people around him were so surprised, and he would also be frightened. The growth stage Digimon is on top of the two mature stage Digimon, ranking first, and the time is now less than 5 minutes, we have already reached the 17th floor. The two mature Digimon below him are only on the 12th floor now. This really overturned Principal Zhu's understanding of growth stage Digimon. Even with the maturity stage, the growth stage Digimon can challenge the 1-star Digitower faster than the mature stage, and it's not even faster than 1 or 2 layer, but a total of 5 layers. Even when Principal Zhu was surprised, it took less than 10 seconds for Doroman to break through the 17th floor and reach the 18th floor. What does this mean? It means that Doroman only defeated the virtual Digimon. It took less than a second or two. Because it takes 3 seconds for a virtual Digimon to appear, and it also takes 3 seconds to enter the next level, and the speed at which Doroman clears the level is less than 10 seconds. From this, we can see that Doroman challenges the virtual Digimon. Almost no pressure at all. Principal Zhu, can someone bring up the scene of this student challenging the digital tower? Song Feiken said at this time. He frowned slightly when he looked at the scene with only Song Tianrui and Mo Xiaoyu on the screen. Okay, I'll let someone do it right now. When Principal Zhu heard Song Feiken's words, he immediately called a teacher and asked him to go over and adjust the screen. Soon, a third screen appeared on the screen. The people who appeared on it were Qin Yun and Duolu Beast. At this time, they had reached the 23rd floor. As for the two genius students Song Tianrui and Mo Xiaoyu, they have just reached the 20th floor. Although they both have mature Digimon, judging from the battle just now, these two genius students are not yet perfect to command his own Digimon. Every time Flame Lizardman and Deluman attack the virtual Digimon will have to use a special move before finally defeating it. This situation will certainly waste some time. On the contrary, after calling up the challenge screen between Qin Yun and Doroman, everyone can see that Doroman faced the virtual Digimon in the digital tower, almost in one move, without giving the opponent any room to react. Such behavior undoubtedly saves a lot of time, and also makes people understand why the growth stage challenges the Digitower so quickly. Although there is a level difference, the combat experience of Multimon is undoubtedly more than that of the other two mature stages. Soon, Chin-yun and Doromin arrived at the top of the 1-star digital tower, which is the 30th floor where mature Digimon exist. Have we finally reached this floor? I didn't expect that it was not Song Tianrui, Mo Xiaoyu and the others, but this guy who reached the 30th floor first. Yes, he will challenge the mature Digimon next, and I don't know if he can win. This should be impossible. Although I have been able to kill growth stage Digimon instantly before, this time I have to face a mature stage Digimon. No matter how much combat experience this Digimon has, it is unlikely to defeat a mature stage Digimon. Beast. Even if it can't be defeated, it's enough. This Digimon is only in its growth stage, and it can already do this. Once it evolves to the mature stage, wouldn't it be possible to challenge the 2-star Digitower immediately? People outside the digital tower watched Chin-yun and Duolumin arrive at the last floor, and they all started talking. The most discussed topic was not whether Chin-yun could pass the 30th floor, but about Duolumin. The evolution of beasts. Although in the previous battles, Doromin's performance was very far away, the opponent he faced was only in the growth stage, and the shock brought by Doromin was far less than when Doromin left behind 2 mature Digimon and landed in the first place. Things. And what we are facing this time is a mature Digimon. No matter how powerful Multimon is, it is only a growth Digimon, and it is impossible to defeat a mature Digimon. Therefore, the people present did not have any expectations at all. Looking forward to it, what they are looking forward to more than this is the evolution of Duolumin. If he is so powerful in his growth stage, then when he evolves to the mature stage, wouldn't he be able to directly challenge the 2-star digital tower? Moreover, his trainer has just graduated from junior high school this year. This is another genius. Maybe he can be defeated and come into your own high school. The idea behind this part is that some high school teachers who come here to watch the exams are different from the superficial efforts of the 4 major colleges. High schools in the human world still pay great attention to junior high school students. Therefore, teachers are asked to attend the final exams every year. Let's come over and see if we can find some good seedlings. Judging from the current situation, I might be able to take a potential student to school this year. Of course, the premise is that I can outsmart other high school teachers. The high school teachers were not interested in Duolumin, but the student Chin-yun. Although they rarely see Digimon like Doromin, they don't particularly take a fancy to Digimon, because the cultivation of Digimon ultimately comes from trainers. Therefore, being able to cultivate such powerful Digimon must be the work of the trainers. Therefore, these high school teachers are more interested in Chin-yun than their parents, and some are even ready to train Chin-yun after he comes out of the digital tower. Immediately invite him into your school. What the hell? Just when the high school teachers were paying attention and parents and students were discussing the multi-monster, someone suddenly yelled, attracting everyone's attention. Before they could find the person who yelled, they could only hear the door to the digital tower was opened. As soon as the door of the digital tower opened, it immediately attracted everyone present. They moved their eyes over and soon saw Chin-yun and Duolumin walking out of it. It came out so quickly. It seems like it was a failure. Sure enough, the growth stage still can't beat the mature stage, but this Digimon is also very powerful. I don't know which juvenile stage it evolved from. I want to get a Digimon like this. I have decided to choose this one as my second Digimon. It looks pretty powerful. With my current experience, I can definitely train him to be even more powerful. After the parents saw Chin-yun and the Doromin coming out, they began to talk to themselves. Most of them planned to go back and get a Doromin. After all, judging from the performance just now, the Doromin was better than the others. Digimon in the growth stage have more potential. At their current ages, it would only take 10 years at most to raise Digimon from infancy to growth or even maturity, and ordinary people like them could still afford to wait. As for the students, they no longer paid attention to the rankings on the screen. Their eyes were all focused on Chin-yun and Duolumin. Those who didn't know Chin-yun looked curious, while students in the same class as Chin-yun looked curious. It was an expression of disbelief. Because in their impression, Chin-yun is just like them, an ordinary student, but now he has directly passed the level 30. Although he failed, he is already much stronger than them. You must know that currently, except for mature stage Digimon, the highest level that can be reached in the growth stage is only the 17th level. Chin-yun, on the other hand, went directly to the 30th floor. The gap was really too big. However, the parents and students at this time did not notice that the rankings on the screen were somewhat different from what they imagined. Hey, look at the number 1 on the ranking. At this time, a student's face changed drastically. He stretched out his hand and pointed at the screen on the digital tower, and shouted in great surprise. Isn't Qin Yun the first place? What's wrong? Could it be that Song Tianrui and Mo Xiaoyu have also reached the 30th level? It's so fast. They are indeed geniuses in cultivating mature Digimon. Speaking of geniuses, the one named Qin Yun is the real genius. Although he failed at the last level, his speed is much faster than those two. Although the students were discussing, they also turned their attention to the screen on the digital tower. Now that Qin Yun had come out, they naturally had to pay attention to the other two students. After all, the 30th floor was a mature Digimon. These students were very excited at the thought of seeing the battle between mature and matured Digimon next. This was the first time for them to see their peers challenge mature Digimon. In the past, they had watched adults challenge mature Digimon on TV. Digimon. However, when the students focused their attention on the screen, they did not see the long-awaited mature battle, because Song Tianrui and Mo Xiaoyu had not reached the 30th floor yet, but had just arrived. 29 floors. But that's not the point. The point is, this is a joke. This must be wrong. I must have seen it wrong, right? How is this possible? How could such a thing happen? It's impossible. It's absolutely impossible that such a thing will happen. When the students, parents, and even the high school teachers noticed the two big words on the screen that were ranked first and behind the multi-way beast, they all froze, with shock on their faces. It was as if I saw something that shouldn't be there. Clearance. Two simple words appeared behind the 30th floor of the digital tower, and everyone at the scene could see them clearly. It was precisely because they could see clearly that they were like this. They didn't even pay attention to the scene where Song Tianrui and Mo Xiaoyu started to challenge the 30th floor. They opened their mouths like swallowing an egg. They couldn't believe it. Look at these two words. They believe that the growth stage can challenge from the first floor to the 30th floor, because they have witnessed it and have seen the power of Multimon, but they will never believe that the growth stage Digimon can defeat the mature stage Digimon, Beast. Because this is absolutely impossible to happen. How can a growth stage Digimon defeat a mature stage Digimon? This has never happened a long time ago. At least in the minds of these people, it has never been heard of. Long-term Digimon can defeat mature Digimon. Even if this is a virtual Digimon in the digital tower, it is definitely not something that can be defeated in the growth stage. Even if this growth stage is stronger than other Digimon, it is absolutely impossible to defeat the mature stage. At least they didn't see it, so there was no way they could accept the multi-root beast successfully clearing the one-star digital tower. However, those two big words, cleared, clearly told them that Doromon defeated the mature Digimon and cleared the one-star Digitower without their witnesses. The scene was quiet, and people could not accept the reality. They looked at the rankings on the screen blankly, completely unaware that Qin Yun, who had come out of the digital tower before, had secretly left here with the Multimon. Of course, before leaving, he returned the assessment card to the school, but it seemed that his attention had been drawn away, so the teacher did not react. Under this situation, Qin Yun unexpectedly left the place with Duolu Beast safely. He originally thought that he would be surrounded when he came out, but he didn't expect that he could leave so easily. It seems that passing through the one-star digital tower during the growth period has had a great impact on them. Recalling the expression he saw before, Qin Yun couldn't help but raise the corners of his mouth. Although he had expected this scene to happen, when it actually happened, it had to be said that it was quite interesting. Xiaoyun, are we in the two-star digital tower now? Duolumin, who left with Qin Yun, asked breathlessly. Judging from his current expression, it is obvious that the previous battle did not consume much physical strength from Duolumin. This is also normal. After all, it is really impossible for Duolumin to consume physical strength in an ordinary mature period. Yes, before they react, let's go to the two-star digital tower and finish the 25th floor. As he spoke, he set off towards the location of another digital tower, but before Qin Yun and Duolumin could take a few more steps, a figure suddenly appeared in front of them, attracting their attention. It was a man, close to 30 from his appearance, walking towards him. Chin Yun didn't pay too much attention to this. After all, he didn't know the other person. Although he seemed to be coming towards him, he might be going inside to watch the final exam. Although the exam had started for a while, it was not over yet. So it's normal for people to come over. Hello, classmate Chin Yun. However, when the middle-aged man approached Chin Yun, he stopped, smiled and faced Chin Yun, who was slightly frowning, and said, "Let me introduce myself first. My name is Song Fiken, and I am from Kangyu College, teacher. Kangyu Academy." Chin Yun, who was originally wondering why the other party knew his name, immediately stopped when he heard this and looked at the man in front of him. "Are you talking about Kangyu College, which ranks last among the 4 major colleges?" Yes. As soon as these words came out, Song Fiken's mouth twitched and his face turned a little dark. Although their Kangyu College was indeed ranked last, there was no need to say it directly. That's not right. Didn't the 4 major colleges send students here in the past? In order to ensure that he can enter the 4 major colleges and complete the system's tasks, Chin Yun has investigated the 4 major colleges, so he knows something. Why did a teacher come this time? In previous years, it was indeed students, but this year is a bit special, so the college asked me to come over. As he spoke, Song Fiken suddenly snapped his fingers, and there was a wave of movement behind him, and then a black shadow walked out of it. If you don't believe it, you should understand it when you see him. Hearing this, Chin Yun's eyes moved to the black figure, and when he walked out completely, his pupils shrank instantly. Complete body. Digimon. Garuruman. Attribute. Vaccine type. Type. Orc type. Level. Complete. Werewolf Garuruman, a complete Digimon. Are you a star digital tamer? When he saw the appearance of Werewolf Garuruman, Chin Yun was a little surprised. He did not expect to meet a complete Digimon here, and it was also Werewolf Garuruman that he was very familiar with. Of course, this is not the point. The point is that Garuruman is Song Fiken's Digimon. If Chin Yun remembers correctly, only star trainers can train complete Digimon, and the minimum requirements for teachers from the 4 major academies are it is to become a star animal trainer. Therefore, there is no need to doubt the identity of the other party. He who possesses Garuruman is the teacher from Kangyu Academy. That's right, now you should believe my identity. Seinfeld smiled and waved to Werewolf Garuruman. At that moment, there was another wave behind him, and then Werewolf Garuruman walked in and left. Here. This is. Werewolf Garuruman had also appeared in this way before. This was the first time Chin Yun had seen this method of summoning a Digimon. This is called the digital space. It is a different space where Digimon can live for a short period of time. When you become a star beast tamer, you can also learn this ability. Song Fiken explained. Chin Yun nodded, and then asked, "So, Teacher Song, why did you come to me for something?" "I think you should have guessed it." Song Fiken chuckled and said, "I came to you this time to invite you to study at Kangyu College. With your ability, you are qualified to enter Kangyu College." "No problem." Chin Yun agreed directly. Originally, he would perform well on the digital tower in order to be able to enter the 4 major colleges. Although he was invited by Kangyu College, which ranked last, he only needed to complete the task. Song Fiken was not surprised by Chin Yun's answer. Although Kangyu College ranked last, it was still one of the 4 major colleges. It was much better than those schools outside, so it was normal for him to answer instantly. In other words, it is abnormal for Chin Yun to refuse. "Here is this card for you. I will contact you through this card when school starts." As he spoke, Song Fiken took out a blue card and handed it over. "Remember to keep this card, you will need it when you enter the academy in the future." Okay. Chin Yun took the card and looked down. Different from the digital tower cards and assessment cards, this card was entirely blue, but there were big white moons in the upper right corner. Other than that, there was nothing else worth noting. Place. Although Chin Yun didn't know how Song Fiken wanted to contact him with a card, since the other party said so, there must be a way, so there was no need to ask more. "Then I'll see you later." After handing the card to Chin Yun, Song Fiken didn't stay long and turned around to leave. He didn't want to ask Chin Yun how he cultivated growth stage Digimon that could defeat the mature stage, because this kind of thing happened a lot among the freshmen in the 4 major colleges. In addition, Song Fiken came here because of other matters. Now that the new students have been confirmed, they are considered to be good prospects. Their mission this time has been completed. Next, they only need to resolve the matters assigned by the school. You can go back. Just leaving like that, it seems that my level is considered ordinary in their eyes. Putting the blue card away, Qin looked at Sine Fiken leaving thoughtfully. Before he could think more, the voice of Dualu Beast came. Xiaoyun, do you want to go to the digital tower again? Go, of course I'm going. Only then did Qin remember that he was going to take Dualumin to the 2-star digital tower in the first place. Although Song Fiken's appearance was an accident, it was also expected, and now he has obtained admission to Kangyu College. Notice, all you have to do is wait until you enter Kangyu College to complete the mission. So now there is no need to worry about missions, and you can challenge the 2-star digital tower with peace of mind. Of course, it is best to clear the 2-star digital tower before the start of school. After all, Qin is not very clear whether there is a digital tower in Kangyu College. There was still noise from behind. Qin took the multi-root beast away from here and came to the entrance where they entered the digital tower before. He took out the digital card and selected the 25th floor. As the white light flashed, Qin and Doromin came to the digital tower again, but this time it was not a 1-star digital tower, but a 2-star digital tower. This time the opponent is Dark Dragonman, and the data value is still 5,000. Looking at the dark-skinned dinosaur Digimon, Qin stepped back and entered the screen. Dalaman, it's okay for you to fight alone this time. No problem, leave it to me, Xiaoyun. After Daluman answered immediately, he rushed towards Darkdramon without waiting for Qin instructions. Fire Blast. Darkdramon also immediately launched an attack, and the two Digimon immediately began their battle. Qin, who was behind, looked at Dualumin fighting with Dark Dragonman and did not give any orders. His inquiry just now was to determine whether Dualumin needed his command, and since Dualumin said no problem, then don't bother yourself. After all, Doromin has become stronger now. The battles in the 2-star digital tower during these days have improved Doromin's data value a lot. When he first challenged the 2-star digital tower, Doromin's data value was only 5,002, but now after these days of fighting, Doromin's data value has increased to 5,007. It is a full 700 more than Dark Dragonman. Although the gap of 700 is quite large and cannot be killed instantly, with the combat experience of Multiman, it is enough to convert this gap into suppression in battle. But now Darkdramon is unable to resist Doromin's fist, and can only be forced to use its body to resist his attack. It seems that today we can directly challenge to the 27th floor. This progress is really terrible. It is worthy of being a multi-level beast. Seeing that Dualumin had the upper hand, Qin couldn't help but sigh. At the same time, he also knew that he had chosen to unlock the X program instead of letting Dualumin evolve to a mature stage. After all, judging from the current situation, Digman's performance is much better than that in the mature stage, and after the Digimon evolves, the data value can be improved again. Just imagine, Doromin is already comparable to the elite mature stage. After evolving again, wouldn't it be possible to challenge the complete body? This kind of thing is not impossible, because Multiman is a Digimon with such potential. When it matures, it can rival the perfect body, and the perfect body is enough to fight against the ultimate body. As for the ultimate level, except for a few Digimon, apart from beasts, there are almost no opponents. Speaking of which, I seem to have forgotten something very important. While watching the battle between Doromin and Dark Dragonman, Qin suddenly remembered that after passing the 1-star digital tower before, he seemed to have completed a new mission. At the moment, he no longer watched this unsuspicious battle, and silently called out the system in his heart. Special tasks. Graduation assessment. Task requirements. Complete the last exam of junior high school. Mission reward. 1,000 energy points, 1 lucky draw opportunity. Sure enough, a mission was completed, but how was this special mission triggered? As soon as he turned on the system, Qin saw a prompt and confirmed that he heard it correctly. Then he asked the system, "System, how was this special task triggered? Why didn't I see it before?" Special tasks cannot be actively triggered. Only when the host completes something under certain circumstances, it will appear as completed. If it is not completed, the special task cannot be seen. The system quickly answered Qin question. In other words, this is because I completed the final exam and indirectly completed this task, so I can see it now. Qin Yun asked again. Yes, it seems I'm pretty lucky. I originally thought I had to wait until I went to Kangyu Academy or past the 2-star digital tower to complete the next mission, but I don't have to do that now. Unexpectedly completing a task made Qin Yun a little happy, especially this time the task also rewarded a lottery opportunity. I got a free redemption coupon in the last lottery, which released the power of Doroman. I don't know what I can get in this lottery. System, start the lottery. Qin Yun is full of expectations. Judging from the last experience, he will definitely be able to draw good things this time. You have to ask, it's the confidence of Europeans. Ding, the lottery begins. The lottery is over. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the spirit of the Dark Warrior, human form. As before, the draw was very fast. Almost as soon as he heard the system prompt, a white light appeared in front of Qin Yun, and then a fighter spirit engraved with a black lion model appeared in front of him. Dark Fighter Spirit, humanoid, the user can evolve into the legendary 10 fighters through the fighter spirit. Note, the strength of the 10 fighters will depend on the user's situation. It's actually a fighter spirit. I'm really lucky. It was really a surprise to get the fighter spirit in the second lottery. However, after noticing that the fighter spirit was dark and looked like a lion, Qin Yun couldn't help but think of the lion beast, and the corner of his mouth twitched. Get up, Black Lianman, why do you need to have the spirit of the Dark Warrior? Although the Dark Warrior's performance is indeed very powerful in the fourth part, but as for Liamon. Looking back at all the Digimon, Liamon is the most tragic one. Even Black Liamon among the 10 fighters, his final fate was very miserable. And now that he has obtained the spirit of the Dark Fighter, will it be accompanied by the spirit of the Dark Fighter? The tragedy of the Liamon clan will also fall on him. Thinking of this, Qin Yun couldn't help but shudder. He suddenly had the idea of returning something, but thinking that it was a lottery item, it definitely could not be returned to the system, and the system did not have recycling functions. So he could only reluctantly put away the spirit of the Dark Warrior. I hope there won't be any tragedy, but with my current situation, it seems like no tragedy can happen. While Qin Yun put away the fighting spirit of the Black Lion Beast, he thought that his parents were dead now and he had no brothers or sisters. The only one who accompanied him was the Duolu Beast. It seemed that he didn't need to worry about the tragedy. After all, apart from death, there is no other tragedy that can happen, so it seems that there is no need to worry about the tragedy curse of the Liamon clan. Congratulations to the challenger for defeating Dark Dragonman. You will enter the next level in 3 seconds. At this time, the sound of the digital tower came. Qin Yun looked up and saw that the Dark Dragonman had disappeared, and Doroman was sitting on the ground, panting heavily, with sweat still on his face, but there was no trace of fatigue, only fighting spirit. Dalman, it's okay. Qin Yun walked out of the screen, and when they were about to get close to Digimon, they entered the 26th floor together. However, because Qin Yun did not return to the screen, according to the settings of the digital tower, the virtual Digimon was attacks cannot be launched when the Tamer is not in the screen, and the Tamer's Digimon cannot attack virtual Digimon. So Qin Yun didn't care about the virtual Digimon that had begun to appear, and came behind Multimon. It's okay, Xiaoyun, it's better to say that I'm completely on fire. Doroman turned around and gave Qin Yun a smile. At the same time, he clenched his fists and looked at the virtual Digimon appearing in front of him with fighting intent. Digimon. Kongomon. Properties. Data. Type. Orc type. Grade. Mature stage. Data value. 5000. Okay, do you need my help this time? No, I'm okay, Xiaoyun. Being rejected by Doroman again, Qin Yun was not angry. After all, in a battle of this level now, his command is indeed not needed. Perhaps Qin Yun will only be needed when he encounters a Digimon with higher data value than Doroman, to conduct battle command. As for the data value being lower than Multimon, I believe his current combat experience is enough to handle it. After returning to the screen, Duoluman launched an attack on Diamondman, and Diamondman also took action immediately after Qin Yun entered the screen. A fiercer battle than before was staged again. Qin Yun stood in the screen and watched the battle. Although Duolu Beast did not want his own instructions, accidents may happen in everything. In addition, Duolu Beast had previously the beast also fought against Darkdramon. Although he didn't look tired on the surface, his physical strength must have been drained a lot. Therefore, for the safety of Delumen, Qin carefully observed the battle this time to avoid being unable to make the best response when an accident occurred. Under Qin watch, the battle between Doroman and Diamondman became more and more intense, but in the end, there were no accidents when Doroman defeated Diamondman with metal cannon, which surprised Qin. Although he had a hunch that Multiman could challenge 2 mature Digimon in a row now, but that was when he needed to command it. So when he wanted to rely on himself and continue to challenge the maturity stage, Qin was still very worried. Facts have proved that he did it with Multiman. Even without his own command, he can rely on his own strength to continuously defeat mature Digimon. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.